Lipscomb Bison's baseball is on the air. Good afternoon, everyone. This is Doc Allen coming to you live from beautiful Ken Dugan Field at Stephen Lee Marsh Stadium here on the campus of Lipscomb University in Nashville, Tennessee, as we get set to bring you college baseball action between the University of Pittsburgh Panthers and the homestanding Lipscomb Bisons. This is the last game of this three-team round-robin Music City Classic that's been going on over this weekend. The Panthers playing their fourth game of the weekend. They're sitting at 2 wins and 1 loss for the weekend. Lipscomb Bison's playing their third game of the weekend as they go 1 game each in the win and the loss column. This is the second game of the 2-game series between these two teams, with Pitt prevailing 16-0 in Saturday's activity. The visiting Panthers from the University of Pittsburgh, part of the Atlantic Coast Conference, they enter today's contest with a season record of 4 wins and 3 losses. No record in conference play yet on the 2022 season. And the Bisons from the Atlantic Sun Conference have a season record of 3 wins and 2 losses. Again, no record in conference play. Last time out, the Bisons again dropped a 16-0 decision to the Panthers after the Bisons defeated Bradley 14-0 on Friday in their first action here in the Music City Classic. Let's take a look at today's starting lineups. First, for the visiting Panthers from the University of Pittsburgh, leading off, senior center fielder, number 5, Jordan Anderson. Batting second, third baseman, number 3, Sky Duff. Batting third, second baseman, number 2, Jeffrey Weller. Batting fourth, left fielder, number 21, Kyle Hess. Batting fifth, catcher, number 14, Tatum Levins. Batting sixth, designated hitter, number 33, Jack Anderson. Batting seventh, first baseman, number 15, Bryce Hewlett. Batting eighth, right fielder, number 39, C.J. Funk. Batting ninth, shortstop, number 11, Brock Franks. And starting on the mound today will be the junior left-hander, Ben Dragani. He comes in with a season record of no wins, 1 loss, and an ERA of 10.80. Panthers head coach is Mike Bell in his 4th season. He's assisted by recruiting coordinator Ty McGahee, assistant coach Joe Mercadante, volunteer assistant coach Devin Mesaraco, the director of baseball operations Austin Thompson, the director of player development Drew Linder, athletic trainer Kyle Cook, and strength and conditioning coach Taylor Gossman. And now the starting lineup for the homestanding Lipscomb Bisons. Leading off in center field, number 19, Maddox Houghton. Batting second, designated hitter today, number 35, Mason Lundgren. Batting third, third baseman, number 30, Trace Wilhoit. Batting fourth, at first base, number 44, Malik Williams. Batting fifth, left fielder, number 13, Rudy Maxwell. Batting sixth, doing the catching today, number 1, Chaz Bertolani. Batting seventh, second baseman, number 23, Ethan Stamps. Batting eighth, right field, number 4, Cam McMillan. Batting ninth, shortstop today, number 8, Caleb Ketchup. And getting the start on the mound will be the sophomore right-hander, number 40, Ike Buxton. The head coach for the Bisons is Jeff Forehand in his 16th season as head coach. And he's assisted by pitching coach Matt Myers, hitting coach Ryan Price, director of baseball operations Brian Ryman, volunteer assistant Will Hawks, director of player development Adam Weiss, director of baseball analytics Ryan Moretti, assistant director of baseball operations Madeline Hoswell. We'll step aside now as we take in our national anthem. national anthem is in the books as we finish out the Bison staff. Bison's head groundskeeper Colby Rawls and the head baseball athletic trainer is Clint Woods. Our umpires for today's game, Ben Wood will be behind the plate, Chuck Pack at first base, and Jeff Bottoms at third base. And our weather right now at Ken Dugan Field is overcast skies, a peak of sunshine here and there, 46 degrees with a real field temperature of 42. Winds out of the north-northeast between 3 and 7 miles per hour. It'll be blowing out towards center field, fairly quiet at the moment, but something to keep an eye on as we move through the day today. Earlier today, we had a chance to visit with Lipscomb head coach Jeff Forehand to get his thoughts on today's game.
Coach, tough loss yesterday. How do you bounce back today?
I think just the opportunity to play again. It's like when that happens, we have a 13-0 on Friday, we're feeling good, and then we come back, and baseball's kind of a funny thing when the opposite thing happened to us yesterday than what we did to Bradley. So you got to bounce back. 16 runs. I don't think that's not our best day for sure. You don't want to be judged on your best day, or you don't want to be judged on your worst day. So I think we're better than we played yesterday. So I'm looking forward to seeing us bounce back today.
And Ike had a good start last week, but they're a really good hitting team. How do you keep them off balance at the plate?
I think Ike just has got to go do what he does. I know that sounds cliche, and sometimes we talk about that stuff all the time. But if Ike does what he does, I think that keeps him off balance enough. And I got a stock bullpen, so I feel good about even though it is Sunday and we sometimes get down in your pitching staff, at this point. I think that's one of the things that we do have. We have depth in our bullpen. So if Ike gets off to a good start, I really feel good about our chances.
Thank you. Best of luck today.
Thanks a lot.
That's Bison's head baseball coach Jeff Forehand with his preview of today's game. And again, yesterday's affair was a very lopsided affair in the favor of the Panthers, who jumped on the Bisons early, banged out 14 hits, and that ended up with 16 runs. They were assisted by 8 walks, 2 hit by pitches, and a wild pitch from the Bison's pitching staff. So it was a long day for the Bisons, and they'll look to bounce back here today against this prolific Pitt lineup, and they'll turn the ball over to sophomore Ike Buxton on the mound. Buxton, a 6'3", 208-pound redshirt sophomore out of Ketchum, Idaho, a transfer from Boise State. And Jordan Anderson will stand in to get things started for today's game. And here comes the first pitch. And he checks his swing, but he does go around for a high fastball, and that'll be 0-1. Anderson batting just 100 on the season, 2 hits and 20 trips. He was 0 for 5 in yesterday's activity against the Bisons. He's one of the few Panthers that struggled at the plate yesterday. Here comes the 0-1 from Buxton, and that one's going to stay outside and high for a ball and a strike. Bison shifted over. Second baseman Stamps all the way behind the bag and actually to the third base side of the bag on the infield. So big hole on the right side as they play Anderson heavy to the pull side. Here comes the 1-1. Swings through that one, and it'll be a ball and 2 strikes. Defensively for the Bisons, Maxwell in left, Houghton in center, McMillan in right, Will Hoyt at third, Ketchup at short, Stamps at second, Malik Williams at first. Behind the plate today, Chaz Bertolani, as we await the 1-2 pitch from Mike Buxton. Fastball will stay low, and that'll be 2 balls and 2 strikes. Buxton, a hard-throwing power pitcher. He'll run that fastball up between 95 and 97 miles per hour. Also has a slider and a changeup that he'll use as he gets his second start of the season. Here comes the 2-2, and that was the breaking ball, and it's hit foul. The count will remain 2-2. Buxton started last Sunday, pitched very effectively in his first start of the year against Akron. He worked 5 innings, gave up 4 hits, 2 runs, but only 1 earned run, walked 1 and struck out 6, and I think that's a key to Buxton's effectiveness, as with any pitcher, minimizing those walks. Here comes the 2-2, tapped foul down the third baseline, and it'll remain 2-2. So Buxton on the season with no record as wins and losses, but a 1.80 ERA as he comes into today's action. He started 10 times on the mound for the Bisons in 2021, throwing 48 2/3 innings with 35 strikeouts and 25 walks. Here comes the 2-2, swung on and hit in the air towards center field. Coming in is Houghton, still coming in, and it's going to drop in front of him. So Anderson just fought that one off and drops it down for the first base hit of the game, and he's aboard with the first base runner of the day for the Pitt Panthers. And that'll bring up third baseman Sky Duff. Duff, the junior, comes in batting .286. And he likewise was hitless in yesterday's game. He was on base a couple of times via the walk and scored a run. One of 5 left-handed bats that'll be in the lineup today for the Panthers. A number of left-handed hitters again facing the right-hander Buxton. And he looks at a fastball low. That will be ball one. Anderson 1 for 1 on the season. As a whole, the Panthers are only 4 out of 7 in the stolen base department, so they don't tend to run a lot. Did not have a stolen base in yesterday's game, but it wasn't much needed as they did most of their damage out of the batter's box. And the throw will go to first. Anderson gets back. Panthers jumped out early yesterday, put up a 2-spot in the first inning and put up a 7-run inning in the third inning, and were led 9-0 and cruised home all the way, winning in a 7-inning affair 16-0. That one's just off the plate with a fastball, and it'll be 2 balls and no strikes to Sky Duff. We saw the Bison's pitching staff try to work away from these hitters yesterday. Pitt's a very good fastball hitting team, and if they get ahead in the count, they will certainly sit on the fastball, and did some damage yesterday. As you mentioned, 14 hits. They had 2 home runs, one by Hess and one by Franks. And Buxton's going to throw to first. Close play there, but Anderson gets back. The count will remain 2-0. Throw again, and just back in time. Very close play that time. Buxton with a good move. Anderson's quick, but he had a generous lead. And that was indeed a very close play at the first base bag. And Anderson's going to do a little groundskeeping work there, as if to say that wouldn't have been as close a play if it wasn't a little sticky over here. We did get some rain overnight in the Nashville area, and the field was uncovered, and so I do think the infield's a little bit choppier than it probably was yesterday. That one catches the corner. Good placement of that fastball. It's 2 balls and 1 strike now on Duff. Weller waits on deck. Again, and Anderson and Duff were 2 of only a couple of the Panthers that didn't have hits in yesterday's game, but you know that Duff can handle the bat, coming off a terrific season in 2021, which he was 3rd team all ACC. Throw again to first. That one's going to bounce over and allow Anderson to get back in. Buxton, as we mentioned, 18 games pitched last year. 10 those were starting affairs. He had a 4-5 record. We mentioned 35 strikeouts, 25 walks in 48 2/3 innings. That's a fastball that's going to stay off the plate. And he's fallen behind Duff, 3 balls and 1 strike. Buxton, a transfer from Boise State. He played a 2020 season at Boise State, appeared in 4 games out of the bullpen. He redshirted in 2019. A 3-sport athlete in high school out of Wood River High School, as he played baseball, hockey, and football. And here comes the 3-1, and that's swung on and fouled back, and that'll make the count 3-2. Came right at him with a fastball here. So we'll see if Coach Mike Bell elects to put Anderson in motion here with a 3-ball, 2-strike count. Top of the first inning, no score between Pittsburgh and Lipscomb. Final game of this Music City Classic tournament to start this weekend here in late February. He is running and swung on and hit in the air towards left field. Going back is Maxwell, still going back. He's got a beat on it, and he's going to glove it there, and Anderson's going to have to turn around and retreat to first base. So Duff is retired on a fly ball out to left field, first out of the inning, and that'll bring up Jeffrey Weller. Weller, the senior second baseman, batting .321 on the season. He's got 1 home run and 5 RBIs. And he had a good day yesterday. He was 2 for 3 at the plate. He scored 4 runs. He also had a couple of walks. One of those base hits was a double yesterday. So Weller having himself a good weekend here in Nashville. Again, Pitt's played 4 games. They played 2 against Bradley, splitting those games, losing a 1-run affair on winning a 1-run affair on Friday and losing yesterday 4-3. That's a slider that's going to miss downstairs, ball 1. Pitt then turned around and played the Bisons yesterday, had that big win. So they are 2 wins and 1 loss on the young season, or correction, on the weekend rather, and 4-3 on the season so far after going 2-2 in their opening weekend last weekend. Throw back to first again, close play, but Anderson gets back. Pitt played in Port Charlotte, Florida last weekend, played 4 games against Canisius. Lost a pair and won a pair. And then, as we mentioned, defeated Bradley 4-3 here on Friday before losing yesterday 3-2. That swung on and fouled, and that'll even the count at a ball and a strike. After today's activity, Pitt next weekend will be in Fayetteville, North Carolina for the All-American Classic. They'll play Army on Friday, Ohio State on Saturday, and Campbell on Sunday. So some good baseball activity ahead. And then the Panthers will start their ACC season on the road the weekend of March 11, 12, 13 when they play at North Carolina. Anderson not running. The 1-1 pitch is going to miss downstairs, and it'll be 2-1 to Jeffrey Weller. Kyle Hess waits on deck. Again, the Panthers coming off one of the best seasons in school history last year where they narrowly missed the NCAA tournament. They were considered the second team out by the selection committee and spent most of the season, or much of the season rather, ranked in the top 25, got up to a number 14 ranking at one point. There's a pitch on the outside corner for a strike. Evens the count at 2-2. Fastball there. And again, when Buxton is effective, he does have some glove side run to that fastball. It'll move away from the right-handed hitters. And he's got Weller in a 2-2 count here. Again, we'll see if Anderson elects to take off. Good generous lead at first. He is running. Here's the pitch. It's outside. The throw is going to be to second. They're going to get him. Gun down at second base. Nice throw there by Chaz Bertolani, and Anderson is going to be caught stealing. Had a reasonable jump, but Bertolani handled that outside pitch very well. Turned it around to second base where it was fielded by Ethan Stamps, and he put the tag on, and that'll be the second out of the inning. And the count will now be full on Jeffrey Weller, who will now bat with 2 outs and the bases empty. So good pitch to handle there. Outside fastball. Bertolani turned it around quickly and threw at Anderson, who runs well, had a good lead. But again, the Bisons got the better of that battle. Here comes the payoff pitch from Buxton to Weller. Swung on and hit on the ground to first baseman Malik Williams. He gloves it. He's going to flip to Buxton covering, and that'll be the third out of the inning. So nothing doing for the Panthers here as Ike Buxton comes back to retire the side. And we'll move to the bottom half of the first inning. No score between Pitt and Lipscomb. You're watching Lipscomb Bisons Baseball on YouTube Live. We head to the home half of the first inning. It'll be Maddox Houghton, Mason Lundgren, and Trace Wilhoit to face the junior left-hander Ben Dragani. Dragani, a 6'4", 238-pounder out of Brookfield, Wisconsin, a transfer from the University of Michigan, where he's played quite a bit of ball. It's his first year at Pitt. He comes in with a season record, no wins, 1 loss, an ERA of 10.80. He worked 3 1/3 innings, give up 4 hits, 5 runs, 4 earned, 5 walks, and 2 strikeouts last weekend against Canisius. So he gets his second start of the season, and he'll face Maddox Houghton to get things started off for the Bisons. And the lanky left-hander throws a fastball that's going to stay away, ball 1. Houghton comes in batting .294 on the season. He's got 1 home run and 4 RBIs, and he had 1 of the 3 hits the Bisons were able to collect yesterday. An off-speed pitch there that he swings through, and that'll even the count at a ball and a strike. Again, Bisons really got in a hole early and had a great deal of trouble against fine right-hander Logan Evans. Logan Evans threw his second straight 7-inning shutout for the Panthers yesterday. There's a breaking ball that's going to get in there for a strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Evans limited the Bisons to just 3 hits, didn't allow a run, had 1 walk and 6 strikeouts. And so Evans, 2 straight starts where he's gone 7 innings and shut the opposing team out. He's off to a great start for Coach Bell. That's going to be a breaking ball that stays down in the dirt, and it'll be 2 balls and 2 strikes on Maddox Houghton. So the combination of the prolific offense by the Panthers and a masterful performance by Evans on the mound, and yesterday's game was a very lopsided affair. Here comes the 2-2 pitch to Maddox Houghton. That hits it. So Houghton will take a base with the first Bison's base runner of the day, and that'll bring up designated hitter Mason Lundgren. Lundgren off to a good start this season. He's batting .312, 5 home runs and, 5 hits and 16 trips, no homers, 4 RBIs. Was 0 for 2 in yesterday's game. So Dragani, again out of Brookfield, Wisconsin, was the 2017 Gatorade Player of the Year in Wisconsin. Showing bunt, putting the bunt down is Lundgren. Only play is going to be to first. He throws high and actually pulls Hewlett off the bag. So they're going to ask now, Coach Bell is going to ask for home plate umpire Ben Wood to confer with Chuck Pack, and the home umpiring crew is going to get together. So throw came over. Dragani came off the mound, gloved it, threw to first. Hewlett definitely came off the bag. The question is, did he get back in time? And we don't have replay here, and so they're going to call him out. So they are going to reverse that call. And Coach Forehand now is going to come down and have a word with home plate umpire Ben Wood and ask how we arrived at that determination. So it'll go down as a sacrifice for Lundgren, moving Maddox Houghton down to second base. And Trace Wilhoit will stand in when we resume action here. Again, Coach Forehand going to have his say about this, but no replay here at Ken Dugan Field, and so not much that can be done after that. And we're going to again have a discussion as first base umpire Chuck Pack will come in and say what he saw, and Ben Wood has talked about what he's seen as well. Give us a chance to tell you a little bit more about Ben Dragani. Again, mentioned he was Gatorade Player of the Year in Wisconsin in his senior year in 2017. Went to Michigan and was a freshman All-American selection by Collegiate Baseball News, and also perfect game. Was all Big Ten on the 3rd team. He had 11 starts and struck out 54 batters in 75 innings pitched with 6 wins back in 2018. In 2019, he redshirted at Michigan, was still an all-academic Big Ten selection. And then 2020, just pitched in 1 game in that season that was shortened by COVID. We'll tell you about his 2021 campaign when we come back as Trace Wilhoit stands in. Maddox Houghton running at second. Swings and hits the first pitch in the air to center field. Anderson going back, still going back, still going back. Looks up and it's off the wall. Houghton falls down at second. He had held up and he is only going to make it to third as he falls down rounding third as well. So bad break there for the Bisons. Looked like Anderson might catch that ball. He sort of pulled up as if he might thought it was going to go over the fence, and Maddox Houghton had retreated to second to tag up. As he saw the ball was going to hit the wall, he came off from the bag and fell down, losing his footing. As we mentioned, a bit of rain overnight, and the infield is a little bit choppy. We saw Anderson struggle with that in the first inning. So Houghton only headed towards third base. He rounded it. I don't think he would have tried to go home, but he was going to try to draw a throw, and he fell down around third base as well. So Maddox Houghton having a bit of footing troubles out there, but Trace Wilhoit's going to stand at second with a double. It'll be the first Bison's hit of the day, and they've got men on second and third with 1 out, and we've got a visit to the mound as the Panthers want to talk this one over. So again, Wilhoit hit that to the deepest part of the ballpark. Anderson was drifting back. Looked like he was going to catch it, but he kind of pulled up, and I think he might have thought the ball was going out. Instead, it hit off the top of the wall, landed at his feet. He was able to pick it up quickly and fire it back in, showing a good arm. But the Bisons catch a bit of a bad break there as Houghton had tagged up, thinking the ball would be caught, and then lost his footing. So runners at second and third with 1 out, and that'll bring up the red-hot Malik Williams, 6 for 20 on the season, 3 home runs and 11 RBIs. Both of those lead the Bisons. Malik did have an 0-for-3 day yesterday, but he has been seeing the ball well and swinging it well, and he's got a chance to let the Bisons do a little early damage here in the first inning. Panthers are going to elect to play it in on the corners. Hewlett at first and Duff at third are inside their respective bags. Double play depth up the middle, and the outfield is deep. The right fielder Funk shaded away from the line a bit on Williams. as Dragani gets set and delivers a breaking ball that stays inside, and that'll be ball one. Levin's behind the plate today. He was in the lineup as a designated hitter yesterday, and we mentioned on yesterday's broadcast that all new catching staff for the Panthers this year as they lost all of their catchers who were part of their 2021 team. Here comes the 1-0, and that almost hit him. Another breaking ball that stayed inside, 2-0. So again, Houghton led off the inning, hit by a pitch. Lundgren put down a sacrifice bunt. Initially was called safe and then was ruled out. And then Will Hoyt doubled off the wall, and they're going to issue an intentional walk to Malik Williams. So he'll go down now to first base, and that'll load the bases for Rudy Maxwell. Maxwell, the senior left fielder, graduate transfer, hitting .316. He's got 6 hits and 19 trips, 1 home run and 2 RBIs. He did have also one of those 3 hits in yesterday's game, and he's got a chance to really do some damage here. Bisons have the bases loaded, 1 out, bottom of the first inning. No score between Pitt and Lipscomb. And that's going to get behind the catcher, Levins, and that's going to bring home a run. Houghton's going to cross the plate as that one was down in the dirt, and the Bisons take a 1-0 lead. I believe that'll go down as a wild pitch. So Will Hoyt will advance to third, and Malik Williams will advance to second, and the count will be a ball and no strikes. And we've got a little activity already heading down to the Pitt bullpen as Dragani has struggled finding the zone here. That breaking ball has been down in the dirt fairly consistently. It's a 1-ball, no strike count. Runners second and third, 1 out. Again, they're still in on the corners. Double play depth up the middle, even though there is no double play, and that's another breaking ball that stays inside. And so Dragani really having trouble finding the zone here. He threw 2 balls to Williams before intentionally walking him, and now he's behind Maxwell 2-0. Chaz Bertolani waits on deck. So better start for the Bisons today than in yesterday's game. They lead 1-0 already here after being shut out in yesterday's affair. Here comes the 2-0. Fastball hit on the ground to the right side. It's going to be gloved by Weller, but that's going to drive the run home from third. And so Rudy Maxwell does what you want to do with a runner in scoring position at third base and drives him in for the second Bison's run of the inning, and they take a 2-0 lead on the RBI ground out from Rudy Maxwell. So that'll bring up the catcher, Chaz Bertolani. He'll bat now with 2 outs and a runner at third base. That's Malik Williams, who was put on board via the intentional walk. Bertolani didn't play in yesterday's game, but off to a good start in the season, batting .444, 4 hits and 9 trips, no homers, 2 RBIs. And he swings and fouls a fastball out of play, 0-1. Again, Bertolani didn't play in yesterday's game, as he's typically been catching on Friday and Sunday, and Rudy Maxwell catching on Saturdays. Back in the lineup today, and a tough out at the plate thus far on the 2022 campaign. Swung on and hit foul, and that'll be 0-2. The scoreboard has it listed as a 3-0 Bison's lead, but I believe the correct score is 2-0. Lipscomb leading. Although I'm sure Coach Forehand would gladly accept another run, but they're going to have to earn it the hard way here, I believe. It's a no-ball, 2-strike count against Chaz Bertolani. Malik Williams, your runner at third base. Here comes the 0-2. Swings and hits it in the air to center field. Anderson's going back, still going back, looks up and is going to glove it. Bertolani hit it well, but he will be retired for the third out of the inning. But the Bisons get on board, courtesy of 1 base hit, hit by pitch, a sacrifice bunt, and intentional base on balls. They pick up 2 runs, so it was 2 runs on 1 hit. There was 1 man left on base. We played 1 inning in your score. Lipscomb 2 and Pittsburgh 0. You're watching Lipscomb Bisons Baseball on YouTube Live. We head to the top half of the second inning. Lipscomb on top of Pitt, 2-0. Ike Buxton back out on the mound after he faced the minimum rather in the top of the first inning for the Panthers. He did allow a leadoff base hit, but Jordan Anderson was cut down on the base paths by Chaz Bertolani trying to steal second. And Buxton got another couple of quick outs and nothing doing for the Panthers, and so they'll send up 4, 5, and 6. Hess, Levens, and Anderson to face Ike Buxton here in the top half of the second inning. Hess, a junior left fielder today. He's off to a hot start. 10 hits and 26 trips to the plate, batting .385, 3 home runs and 9 RBIs on the young season. Shows bunt, pulls off it, and he did make an attempt, according to home plate umpire Ben Wood, so it's 0-1. Hess with a red-hot day yesterday, 3 for 3, 3 RBIs, 3 runs scored, and as we mentioned, he did have one of the home runs on the day. Swung on and hit foul on an off-speed pitch there, and Buxton gets ahead 0-2. Again, when Buxton can throw that breaking pitch for a strike, he is very effective because the fastball is electric, as we mentioned. Mid to upper 90s with some arm side run. Checked his swing. Did he go? Third base umpire Jeff Bottoms is going to say no, so that fastball just missed off the plate. It was a ball and 2 strikes. Good place for a 2-strike pitch, so we'll do it again. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count to Kyle Hess. Here comes the 1-2. That's going to stay high, and it'll be 2-2. If you're in the area, please come on out and make your way to the ballpark. Again, it was a noon start today, but we've got space available. It's fleece blanket giveaway, and I believe there may still be a few of those left if you head out to the ballpark. That one's going to miss downstairs, and the count's now full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Also, Kids Run the Bases Day after the game today. Payoffs hit foul out of play, 3-2. So if you're a kid or maybe just a kid at heart, you want to get out here and run the bases after the game, come on out to the ballpark and enjoy some great college baseball action between these two programs. Again, a warmer day today. We've now got a little sunshine peeking through and the best weather we've seen for the weekend. Here's the payoff. That's hit up the middle and over the head of Will Hoyt. Will Hoyt, the third baseman, was playing right up the middle, and he gave it a leap, but he couldn't get it, and so Hess is staying red hot, and he's aboard with a base hit. It'll be the second hit of the day for the Panthers, and they've got the leadoff man on again for the second inning in a row. Bringing up the catcher, Tatum Levens. Levens, the junior, 5 hits in 23 trips to the plate for a .217 average to start the season. 1 home run and 5 RBIs. Levens was the DH in yesterday's game and was hitless in 3 at-bats, did score a run. And Buxton throws a fastball. It's going to bounce away from Bertolani. It's going to hit all the way down the first baseline, and he's going to chase it down there. So that'll allow Hess to scoot down to second, and that'll be a wild pitch. And Levens now will have a 1 ball, no strike count. So the Bisons will switch now to the card that they use with the runner on second base. You'll see Buxton staring down at the card that he's got around his waistband. The sign will come in from the dugout to he and the catcher simultaneously, and Bisons employ that with a runner at second. Here's the 1-0. Fastball stays inside and low. 2-0. Again, we do have a pitch clock in effect on the field today. We don't have a visible clock that we can see, but the umpires are keeping that, and we saw a warning in yesterday's game after seeing an actual ball assessed in Friday's game. So it's 1 warning, and then there's a ball that's automatically assessed if there is a second violation. The fastball stays high. Buxton is behind Levens, 3-0, maybe pitching around him a little bit with first base open. The designated hitter, Jack Anderson, on deck. 3-0, and that's on the inside corner for a strike. 3 balls and 1 strike. So again, 20 seconds is the allotted time for the pitcher to deliver the pitch from once he receives the ball back from the catcher until he makes an attempt to come home. 3-1, hit in the air to right field, going back, going towards the wall, looking up, and that one's gone. Home run. Tatum Levens has just hit the ball out of the park in right center field over the Ascend Federal Credit Union sign out there, and that'll put the Panthers on top 2-1. Second hit of the inning, and it's a big one off the bat of Levens as he gets his second home run of the season. And no doubt about that one. Buxton got behind him, and he threw that 3-1 pitch over the heart of the plate, and Levens did not miss it, hitting it out to right center field. So base is empty now, and that'll bring up Jack Anderson, designated hitter. 4 for 10 on the young season, 1 home run and 3 RBIs. And he looks at a breaking ball that'll stay outside. 1 ball, no strikes. That's another fastball that's going to be outside. Buxton working quickly here. Anderson came on as a pinch hitter yesterday, did have a base hit and an RBI. And Coach Matt Myers is going to take a stroll out to the mound to talk to his sophomore right-hander, Ike Buxton. That'll give us a moment to tell you a little bit about the upcoming schedule for the Bisons. After completing this action today, the Bisons will head on the road, head down I-24 to Murfreesboro, and they'll play a Tuesday afternoon affair at MTSU. First pitch there is 3 p.m. They'll turn around and be back home here at 4 p.m. on Wednesday as they host Belmont in the first installment of the Battle of the Boulevard. Those teams that located only about 3 miles apart in terms of geography here on Belmont Boulevard, and they will typically play each other twice each year, once at each team's respective field. So the first installment of that will be here on Wednesday afternoon at 4 p.m. Then Northern Illinois comes in for a weekend series next weekend. They'll play a single game Friday at 4 p.m., Saturday at 2 p.m., and Sunday at 1 p.m. as Anderson swings and fouls that one back, and that'll make the count 2 balls and 1 strike. So come on out and catch some Bison baseball action. Again, an extended homestand here for the Bisons as they'll play 4 of the next 5 right back here at Ken Dugan Field to start the 2022 campaign. Here comes the 2-1, swung on and hit off the fist to second base. Stamps is going to glove it, and he's going to throw on to first, and Anderson will be retired for the first out of the inning. That'll bring up the first baseman, Bryce Hewlett. Hewlett also off to a good start on the season. He's batting .381. He's got 8 hits and 21 at-bats, no homers and 4 RBIs. Again, he had a big day yesterday. He was 3 for 4 with 2 RBIs. And checks his swing, takes downstairs for ball 1. Hewlett, senior first baseman. Looks at another one that'll miss downstairs, so 2 balls, no strikes. Again, Buxton working with a lot of tempo here today, getting the ball and really going back at these hitters. That swung on and hit on the ground towards short. Ketchup is going to glove it, throw on the run, and he'll retire him for the second out of the inning. So that'll bring up C.J. Funk. He's in right field today. Sophomore batting .235, 4 out of 17 on the season. No homers, 5 RBIs. Did have a big day yesterday, though. Again, 2 for 3 at the plate with 4 RBIs and 3 runs scored. So he was liking what he saw yesterday. Batting now with 2 outs and the bases empty. Starts him out with a fastball across the outside corner. And you can see, as we mentioned earlier, when Buxton can get ahead of these hitters and also throw that breaking ball for a strike, he can be really effective. That one's going to miss downstairs, and it's going to be a ball and a strike. Playing in the top of the second inning, Pitt has grabbed a 2-1 lead after the Bisons, or correction, 2-2 rather. They tied it now as the Bisons put up 2 in the bottom of the first, and that's a breaking ball that just stays downstairs, 2-1. Pitt was scoreless in the first inning. The Bisons jumped out and put 2 on in the bottom of the first, and the Panthers have tied it here now in the second inning. Another breaking ball outside, and it's going to be 3-1. As shortstop Franks waits on deck for the Panthers. Panthers a good hitting team. They came in hitting .283 on the season. 3-1 is on the inside corner, and Funk took it for strike 2, so that'll run the count full. So .283 on the season as a team, 8 home runs and 47 RBIs for the Pitt Panthers. Here comes the payoff pitch. Swings and fouls it out of play, and the count will remain at 3-2. Panthers pitching staff off to an excellent start. They're holding opponents to just a .254 average, and they have a 3.72 ERA as a staff. So Coach Bell's got to be pleased with the start of his Pitt pitching staff on the young season. Here comes the payoff from Buxton to Funk. Swung on and hit towards Ketchup at short. He's going to glove it going to his left, throw on to first, and he will retire Funk for the third out in the inning. But the Panthers do get on the board courtesy of a couple of runs. The big blow being the home run off the bat of Levens, and we are now head to the bottom half of the second inning. Your new score, Lipscomb 2, Pittsburgh 2. You're watching Lipscomb Bisons Baseball on YouTube Live. We head to the bottom half of the second inning. 7, 8, 9 due up to face the left-hander Ben Dragani. 2-2 ball game. Lipscomb and Pitt tied, and it'll be Ethan Stamps, Cam McMillan, and Caleb Ketchup to bat for the Bisons here. Again, Dragani giving up a couple of runs in the first inning, courtesy of a hit by pitch, a double, a walk, and an RBI ground out. And another run that came in on that wild pitch. Starts off with a breaking ball here, and Stamps takes it for a strike. Stamps only had 5 at-bats on the season, 1 hit and 5 trips. Swings through another off-speed pitch there, and he's down on the count, 0-2. Stamps played a lot as a freshman last year, batted .259, played 25 games, got 22 starts, no homers and 6 RBIs on the season. He's down 0-2 here to Ben Dragani. That one's going to miss downstairs, and that'll leave the count at 1 ball and 2 strikes. So we mentioned Dragani transferring from Michigan. Started 3 games last year, had 11 total appearances. Swung on and hit foul. He's a 3-3 record last year. Opposing batters only hit .229 against him. He did get his first career save in a game against Maryland last year, so young man who was at Michigan for 4 seasons, first season at Pitt. He misses high with a fastball there, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes to Ethan Stamps. We mentioned 16 new faces on the roster for Coach Bell and the Panthers this year, and Dragani is one of those. And here comes the 2-2 to Stamps, just off the plate, missed. He checked his swing there, and the count will run full. Good fastball there from Dragani. He does appear to have a little bit of arm side run, as a lot of left-handers do, but that one just missed. Here comes the payoff to Stamps. Swung on and fouled off again, and Stamps stays alive, and he is earning his keep in the batter's box here. Again, defensively, Hess is in left, Anderson in center, Funk in right, Duff is at third, Franks at short, Weller at second, and Hewlett at first, and that one's going to miss high. Get away from the catcher Levens, but Stamps is going to jog down to first base. And for the second inning in a row, the Bisons have their leadoff man on. The first inning was via hit by pitch, and here it's via the base on balls, as that'll be the second walk issued by Dragani here in his second inning of work. And bring up right fielder Cam McMillan getting the start today in right field. McMillan only 5 at-bats on the season, still looking for his first hit as a Bison. And we'll see what Coach Forehand elects to do here. In the first inning, the Bisons got the leadoff man on and immediately sacrificed him over to second. Stamps with a fairly modest lead, not running. Taking a pitch on the outside edge is McMillan for strike 1. McMillan transfer, initially started his career at Vanderbilt, and then went on to University of Houston, and then to John A. Logan College. He's out of Kansas City, Missouri. He looks at that one downstairs, 1 ball and 1 strike. He's a big youngster, 6'5", 225-pounder, and can play a number of infield or outfield positions as he gets the start in right field today. He awaits the 1-1 pitch from Dragani. Long hold, and now he's going to step off. And I believe that's going to be a pitch count warning there. The first base umpire Chuck Pack gave it, and home plate umpire Ben Wood tapping at his wrist as if to say, that's your 1 warning on the pitch clock. Here comes the pitch. He swings through the breaking ball there, and it'll be a ball and 2 strikes. So McMillan swinging all the way, not looking to bunt here. Stamps with average speed at first base. Did not have a stolen base on the 2021 campaign, and that one's going to be downstairs. It's blocked up by Levens and doesn't get away far enough that Stamps can advance. So 2 balls, 2 strikes. Caleb Ketchup waits on deck. Our score is 2-2. Lipscomb and Pitt here in the bottom half of the second inning. And we await a 2-2 pitch to Cam McMillan. Not running, and swung on and hit down the right field line, but that's going to slice foul, rather. Fought off an inside fastball there, put an inside-out swing on it, and hit it down the right field line, but it stayed foul the whole way. So Funk will jog over and retrieve it and head back to his position here. And we'll do it all again. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Ethan Stamps on at first. He walked to start the bottom half of the second inning here. And Dragani delivers and gets McMillan to chase an outside fastball, strike 3. So 1 down, and that'll bring up Caleb Ketchup. Ketchup is shortstop today. He's got 3 hits and 13 at-bats on the season. And again, we'll see if the Bisons elect to do something on the base paths. Ketchup runs really well. We mentioned the dirt fairly wet today and some rain overnight here. This field has taken a lot of water this week. He's swinging away and he pops it up on the right side, and Hewlett is drifting back and drifting towards the wall, and it comes back in play, and he gloves it for the second out of the inning. So 1 pitch and Ketchup is retired for the second out of the inning, and that'll take us back to the top of the order in Maddox Houghton. Houghton was hit by a pitch to start the first inning. Waldo coming around to score on the wild pitch for the Bison's first run of the game. Again, comes in batting .294, 1 home run, 4 RBIs. So he'll bat now with 2 outs and a runner still at first as Dragani's come back to get a strikeout and a pop out after issuing that leadoff walk, and that fastball stays outside for ball 1. Again, good arm side run from the left-hander Dragani. When he's been in the zone, he's been very effective. He's struggled when he's thrown that breaking ball in the dirt. And there's a breaking ball that just misses off the outside corner. Good pitch there, but didn't get the call. 2 balls, no strikes to Maddox Houghton. Mason Lundgren waits on deck for the Bisons. Stamp still with a very modest lead at first base. Here comes the 2-0, and that's a fastball that looks like Houghton just couldn't quite pull the trigger on, so 2 balls and 1 strike as he works on the inner half. And you're seeing that bit of a pattern there. Dragani's working both sides of the plate, going away and also coming in, and he's been very effective when he's been able to hit those spots. Here comes his 2-1. Stamps is running, pitches down in the dirt, and Stamps is going to be in with a stolen base. So Levin's trying to come up out of his stance to glove that one, and it wound up at his feet, and that allows Stamps to get to second base. I believe he'll be credited with his first stolen base of the season and his first stolen base of his Bison's career. So that'll be a moment he'll be proud of. 3 balls, 1 strike, so Maddox out and 2 outs. Stamps now in scoring position at second in a 2-2 ball game. And the 3-1 is a breaking ball that'll stay high, ball 4. So that's 3 walks issued now in an inning and 2/3 by Ben Dragani, and that'll bring up Mason Lundgren. And Lundgren put down a nice sacrifice bunt in the first inning. The bang-bang play at first base. He was initially ruled safe, and then after an umpiring conference, he was ruled out, much to the dismay of Coach Forehand. But nonetheless, he did advance a runner who eventually scored. He'll bat now with 2 outs, 2 on. Again, batting .312 on the year is Lundgren. He's been off to a good start. And fastball in the outside corner for strike 1. Lundgren, the only left-handed bat in the lineup today for the Bisons, with the left-hander Dragani getting the start. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Swings and hits a curveball back to the screen, and Dragani's gotten ahead, 0-2. Fooled him on that one. He just got a piece of it to stay alive. Trace Wilhoit would be next if Lundgren can extend this at-bat. 1 ball, 1 strike, or correction, no balls, 2 strikes. 2 outs and a runner at second, bottom of the second inning. Stamps dances off, and Lundgren just spoils that one, hits it foul. Nice piece of hitting there. It was a breaking ball outside, and he just got a piece of it to send it out to the screen and to stay alive. No balls, 2 strikes. Shortstop Franks is getting behind Stamps a little bit just to keep that lead. Now he's going to pull off and allow him to extend his lead. Here comes the 0-2, and got him on strike 3. Beautiful breaking ball there, and he froze him on that one as Lundgren is called out for the 3rd out of the inning. So the Bisons have stranded another runner, and nothing doing for them here in the bottom half of the second. We've played 2 full innings. Your score, Lipscomb 2, Pitt 2. You're watching Lipscomb Bisons Baseball on YouTube Live. We go to the top of the third inning now. Lipscomb and Pitt tied 2-2. It'll be Brock Franks, the shortstop, batting in the 9-hole to start it off. Back to the top of the order as the Panthers face right-hander Ike Buxton. Buxton has surrendered 3 hits and 2 runs, courtesy of the 2-run home run from Tatum Levins back in the second inning. And Franks will look to start it off here for the Panthers. Comes in batting just 176 on the year, 3 hits and 17 trips, and he swings and fouls that one back, 0-1. Franks was 2 for 3 in yesterday's game, one of which was his first home run of the season, so he ended up with 3 RBIs. And I believe that one got a piece of catcher Chaz Bertolani, so home plate umpire Ben Wood will stroll out and give him a moment to shake that one off. We mentioned the Panthers and their success in 2021. They set their all-time mark with ACC victories with 16 on the season. That one stays outside. It'll be a ball and a strike. Also had junior right-hander Mitch Myers selected in the 12th round of the Major League Draft. And that swung on and hit deep in the air to right field. Going back is McMillan. Going back, looks up, and gone. And Franks has hit another home run for the second day in a row with a solo shot to put the Panthers up 3-2. So again, the Panthers a good fastball hitting team. And Buxton left that one up, and Franks did not miss it as he hit it out to right center field. And so the Panthers have jumped back out 3-2, and that'll bring up the top of the order in Jordan Anderson. Anderson singled to start the first inning and then was caught stealing on the base paths. So 1 for 1 on the day, 3 for 21 on the season, and shows bunt and pulls back and takes a strike, 0-1. Bison's with a big shift on here for Anderson. Unusual to see such a shift for the leadoff hitter, but he's a strong pull hitter apparently as the second baseman Stamps is over to the third base side of second base. So big gap on the right side. He looks at a breaking ball that'll stay downstairs, 1 ball and 1 strike. Shortstop Ketchup pulled over toward the hole, but Stamps heavily shifted to his right-hand side up the middle against leadoff hitter Jordan Anderson. Here comes the 1-1 from Buxton. Checked his swing. Did he go? And first base umpire Chuck Peck says yes, he did. So that'll be 1 ball and 2 strikes on Jordan Anderson. Senior center fielder batting leadoff again here today. Here comes the 1-2 from Ike Buxton. Swings and taps it towards Stamps, right where he's playing up the middle. He's going to glove it and throw into first, and he's going to retire the speedy Anderson. So the scouting report worked to perfection there as Anderson hit it right at Stamps where he was positioned up the middle, and he'll ground out 4-3 for the first out of the inning. That'll bring up third baseman Sky Duff. He flew out to left field in his first at bat. 273 on the season. Misses outside for that one. It'll be 1 ball and no strikes. We mentioned Duff with an outstanding campaign in 2021. Named to the All-ACC team, the All-Region team. That one's going to miss downstairs as well. It'll be 2 balls and no strikes against Duff. That one's going to be on the outside corner for strike 1. 2 balls, 1 strike. We mentioned yesterday Duff ended up with a streak of 21 games of reaching base and a 13-game hitting streak. So he had an outstanding season in 2021. For Coach Bell and the Panthers, he swings and hits that one foul and out of play to the left side, and that'll even the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. He was one of 4 Panthers selected to that All-ACC team last year. Here comes the 2-2 from Buxton to Duff, and breaking ball got him. Beauty there. So Duff is down on strikes. That'll be the first strikeout of the day for Ike Buxton. And that'll bring up second baseman Jeffrey Weller. Weller grounded out unassisted to the first baseman back in the first inning. Batting .310 on the season. 1 home run, 5 RBIs. Stamps again is going to shift straight up the middle, heavy to the pull side here on Weller. And that's going to hit him. So Weller is aboard with a hit by pitch, and he'll be aboard with 2 outs. And that'll bring up left fielder Kyle Hess. And Hess singled to start the second inning and eventually came around to score after advancing to second on a wild pitch. So again, Hess with a big day yesterday, 3 for 3 in the game. Already 1 for 1 today, hitting .407 on the season. He's got 3 home runs and 9 RBIs, so a dangerous left-handed bat here. 2 outs, runner on at first with Weller. Weller 1 for 1 on stolen base attempts on the season. He takes a little bit of that vault lead at first, and they're going to throw and get him back. Again, starting out with a very minor lead, and then late in the hold, advancing, trying to create some disruption of the pitcher and his timing there. Is what I would call a vault lead. Shortstop Ketchup is now shifted up the middle, and Stamps pulled way around to the pull side. So again, a heavy pull shift on here, and that's going to be a fastball that stays outside. 1 ball and no strikes on Kyle Hess. Catcher Tatum Levin waits on deck if Hess can extend the inning. We're playing the top of the third. And Pitt has taken a 3-2 lead here, courtesy of the solo home run off the bat of Brock Franks. Swings through that one, and leaving the count at a ball and a strike. And Weller ranged far off the bag there as a secondary lead, and I did see Bertolani take a look at him, and wouldn't be surprised to see them make a snap throw down if he does that again. Got a 1 ball, 1 strike count on Kyle Hess. Outfield fairly straight away despite this heavy infield shift. He's not running, and that's a fastball that'll stay high, and it's 2-1. Buxton up to 56 pitches here in the third inning. Mentioned he started and went 5 innings in his first outing last Sunday against Akron. Here comes the 2-1, swings through an off-speed pitch, 2-2. Really pulled the string on him there, and that's the changeup, which again, when Buxton can throw that, mixed in with that 95, 96 mile an hour fastball, he can be very effective. So he's got Hess down now, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Weller, your runner at first. Pitt leading Lipscomb 3-2, top of the third inning. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Instead, they're going to go to first. Close play. But Weller gets back. So despite the fact the Panthers don't swipe a lot of bags, they do take some aggressive leads. And we mentioned Buxton with a really good move for a right-hander. Quick feet, throws over there to keep Weller close. Here comes the 2-2 pitch again. Runner going. It's outside. Nope, he pulls back. So he started, took about 4 steps, and then stopped, and the pitch was away, and so they've run the count full now on Kyle Hess, and Weller will be taking off with this pitch with 3 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. I believe that Bertolani would have thrown him out with a good throw on that one as he got up quickly to that outside fastball, but here comes the payoff pitch. Runner goes, checks his swing. Did he get him? And yes, he did. Excellent pitch there from Buxton. Threw the breaking ball and got him swinging. Second strikeout for the inning of for Buxton, second strikeout overall, and the Panthers will strand one, but they do bounce back on the solo home run by Franks to take a 3-2 lead as we head to the home half of the third inning. You're watching Lipscomb Bison's Baseball on YouTube Live. Bottom half of inning number 3, Pitt leading Lipscomb 3-2, and it'll be 3-4-5 for the Bisons. Wilhoit, Williams, and Maxwell to face left-hander Ben Dragani. as we got an entertaining game going on between these two back and forth. The final game of this Music City Classic, a three-team event featuring Bradley, Pitt, and Lipscomb. And the Panthers playing their fourth game of the weekend. The Bisons playing their third. Panthers are 2-1 on the weekend. The Bisons 1-1. And Dragani hits into a fastball that Wilhoit's going to turn around and hit into right center field for a base hit. So Wilhoit jumping on the first pitch was fastball tilting away, and he jumped right on it. And he'll have the second hit of the day for the Bisons, and he'll be on for a leadoff single. It's the third inning in a row the Bisons have got the leadoff man on. And that'll bring up Malik Williams, who was intentionally walked back in the first inning to load the bases. Williams comes in batting .300 on the season, 6 out of 20. Again, 3 homers and 11 RBIs, both of which lead the Bisons. Wilhoit does not have a stolen base attempt on the year, which is not unusual because you hate to take the bat out of the hands of this big fellow. And he looks at a breaking ball downstairs, 1 ball and no strikes. So Ben Dragani's gone all the way for the Panthers. He throws that breaking ball in the outside corner for a ball and a strike. Dragani working at 39 pitches so far. He's given up 2 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned. He's walked 3 and struck out 2. And we await a 1-1 pitch to Malik Williams. Fastball stays low, and that'll be 2 balls and 1 strike. Rudy Maxwell waits on deck. Infield, a double play depth up the middle. The third baseman Duff is pulled near the line and back a few steps. Left fielder Hess very deep. He seems to like to play deep overall. That's a fastball that'll stay outside, 3-1. Again, one of the things we've seen Malik Williams in his time here, really maturing as a hitter and forcing pitchers to come into that zone. He's been very disciplined this season already. Here comes the 3-1. He looks at a fastball, stays just inside. Good spot, but he missed his spot. It's just enough to home plate umpire Ben Wood to call that ball 4. And the Bisons have a rally going. They've got runners first and second, nobody out, and Rudy Maxwell up. Maxwell had an RBI ground out back in the first inning to drive in a run for the Bisons. And looks like that we're going to have a mound conference and possibly even a pitching change here. Looks like Coach Bell is coming out. He's looking down towards the bullpen. Hasn't made a signal yet, so we'll wait to see. And nope, we've already got someone jogging in from the bullpen. So that's going to be the end of the day for Dragani. We'll step aside and take a break and tell you all about the new pitcher when we come back. Again, we're playing in the bottom of the third inning. Your score, Pitt 3 and Lipscomb 2. You're watching Lipscomb Bisons Baseball on YouTube Live. New pitcher for the Panthers is sophomore right-hander Brady Devereaux, 6'2" youngster out of Glen Mills, Pennsylvania. On the season, Devereaux a 3.38 ERA. He's appeared twice, both in relief, 2 2/3 innings, 2 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned, no walks, and 3 strikeouts. And he'll be facing Rudy Maxwell here As the Bisons have 2 on, Trace Wilhoit singled to start the inning. Malik Williams walked, and so 2 runners on, nobody out. Bottom of the 3rd, and Pitt leading Lipscomb 3-2. As Devereaux on in relief of Dragani, and he starts with a fastball outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Devereaux in his career has made 28 appearances, got an overall record of 2-0, 7.43 ERA, and a 2.09 whip, 41 strikeouts in those 36 1/3 innings of work that he's had. So a hard-throwing right-hander, and he gets him to swing through an off-speed pitch there. 1 ball and 1 strike. Again, Devereaux out of Glen Mills, Pennsylvania, played at Malvern Prep School there. 3rd season for the Panthers. And here comes the 1-1 pitch to Maxwell. Second baseman Weller is dancing around at second. That's a breaking ball down in the dirt, blocked by Levens. It'll be 2 balls and 1 strike. So in 2019, Devereaux made 24 appearances, going 2-0 with a 6.27 ERA, 37 strikeouts in 33 innings. In 2020, he made 4 appearances out of the bullpen at 3.1 innings pitched in that shortened season. Did not appear last year. Maxwell swings and hits this one down the right field line, giving chase his Funk, still giving chase, and it's going to go out of play for strike 2. So it'll be 2 balls and 2 strikes on Rudy Maxwell. Again, Trace Wilhoit singled to start the inning, hit a ball hard into the right center field gap, but was quickly cut off and held him to a single. Malik Williams then followed with a base on balls, and we had a pitching change as Brady Devereaux came in. And so Rudy Maxwell has a 2 ball, 2 strike count. And he swings to, looks like maybe a slider there, and he got him on strikes. So Maxwell down on strikes, and that'll bring up Chaz Bertolani. Bertolani flew out to center field in his first at-bat on the day. Batting .400 on the season, 4 hits and 10 trips. And he would love to do some damage here as the Bisons trail Pitt 3-2 in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Again, double play depth up the middle. First baseman Hewlett is far back behind the runner at first. 3rd baseman Duff even with the bag. Outfield's fairly straight away. Wind is blowing out hard now towards right center field. And here comes Devereaux throwing a slider that's just held in there by Levens. It'll be 1 ball, no strikes to Bertolani. Bisons jumped out to a 2-0 lead in the bottom of the 1st. Panthers tied it in the top of the 2nd. They added a run in the 3rd, and that's got us to our 3-2 score here. And here comes the 1-0 pitch from Devereaux to Bertolani. Swings and fouls it straight back like a slider that he hit. And it'll be a ball and a strike on Chaz Bertolani. Ethan Stamps waits on deck. Again, yesterday's game, Pitt jumped out to a big lead, never looked back as they defeated the Bisons 16-0. That came after the Bisons had done a similar number on Bradley on Friday, winning 14-0. So we've seen a lot of offense here this weekend in this Music City Classic. Here comes the 1-1 pitch to Bertolani. Swings and taps it on the ground. Shortstop Franks is going to cut it off and throw to 3rd, and he's going to get him in time. So nice play by Franks. He ranged to his right. Soft ground ball off the end of the bat there. And so Bertolani will reach on the fielder's choice. That'll go down to 6-5 for the 2nd out of the inning. Williams will advance down to 2nd, and Bertolani's on at 1st, and it'll be up to Ethan Stamps now. Stamps stole the base in his first at-bat today. Got 1 hit and 5 trips on the young season as he started yesterday at second base and back in there today. So 2 outs, 2 on. Bottom of the 3rd inning. Pittsburgh leading Lipscomb 3-2. And Brady Devereaux on here trying to get out of the jam in the 3rd inning. Throws a breaking ball that'll stay downstairs. 1 ball and no strikes. So far it looks like Devereaux pretty much a fastball slider kind of guy. That's what we've seen out of him so far. Here comes the 1-0, and he swings to an off-speed pitch there. It might have been a changeup. 1 ball, 1 strike. Pulled the string on him. That was a good pitch. So 1 ball, 1 strike. Bertolani running at 1st. Malik Williams running at 2nd. Ethan Stamps is going to await the 1-1 pitch from Brady Devereaux, and here it is, and he takes it. That's a slider over there for a ball and 2 strikes, so good pitch there. And Devereaux been very effective so far. Came on and got the strikeout, got a ground ball to get the 2nd out of the inning. He's got a chance to get out now without further damage if he can retire Stamps. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 on in the bottom of the 3rd. Fastball outside corner, got him, strike 3. Great pitch there. Got to tip your hat to Brady Devereaux, who comes on and gets 2 strikeouts, and he's fired up as he goes off. And the Bisons will strand 2 more runners. They've left 4 on base through the first 3 innings. We head to the top of the 4th. Your score, Pittsburgh 3 and Lipscomb 2. You're watching Lipscomb Bisons Baseball on YouTube Live. We're headed to the top half of the 4th inning. 3 runs, 4 hits, no errors for the Pittsburgh Panthers. 2 runs, 2 hits, no errors for the Lipscomb Bisons. And Ike Buxton is back out to start his 4th inning of work for the Bisons. He'll be facing 5, 6, 7. Levens, Anderson, and Hewlett are scheduled here. And Tatum Levens homered in his first at-bat today. 2-run shot that he hit out to right center field. Second home run on the season, and so he'll stand in there to lead things off for the Panthers. Shows bunt, takes a breaking ball in there for strike 1. Levens now up to 250 on the season. 2 homers to go with 7 RBIs. He's got 6 hits rather in 24 trips to the plate. Another breaking ball, just missed outside corner there. 1 ball and 1 strike. Sunshine's broken through here. First sunshine we've seen all weekend. And again, much better weather day than we've had the last couple. That one's going to be fouled out of play. It'll be a ball and 2 strikes. Temperatures in the Friday game are down right around the freezing mark. And yesterday was in the mid to upper 30s. So much nicer day here at the ballpark. And I'm sure these 2 teams are enjoying seeing some sunshine. Here comes the 1-2 from Buxton. Swings and hits it into left field. Good piece of hitting there as he left that slider up over the middle of the plate. And Levens inside out swing and punches it out into left field, and he'll be aboard as the leadoff man here in the 4th inning. That'll be the 5th hit surrendered by Buxton so far. And I'll bring up designated hitter Jack Anderson. He grounded out back in the 2nd inning. Anderson again, a defensive replacement yesterday. Had a pinch hit appearance and stayed in to play first base and had a base hit in the game. He's 4 hits and 11 trips on the young season so far for Jack Anderson. Levens on at first, and that misses way inside, ball 1. Levens does not have a stolen base attempt on the season. And looking back to last season, he did not have, or correction, that's this season. I'll get you last season's totals when I can in just a moment here. First, the 1-0 pitch, breaking ball, just missed there. Good looking pitch, but he didn't get the call. It's 2 balls and no strikes. Hewlett waits on deck. Levens with a reasonable lead at first. Here comes the 2-0. That's fastball is going to miss inside, ball 3. So Buxton falling behind Anderson here. Starting to seeing a little bit of scurrying around in the Bison's bullpen. Looks like the left-hander Matthew Bonnard throwing down there. Buxton up to 66 pitches at this point in the game in the 4th inning. Here comes the 3-0, and that's going to stay high for ball 4. So that's the first walk on the day for Ike Buxton. Does have a couple of strikeouts, and that'll put 2 on and nobody out for Bryce Hewlett. And Hewlett grounded out back in the second inning. Batting .364 on the season. No homers and 4 RBIs. Catcher Chaz Bertolani is going to stroll out to talk to his pitcher, Ike Buxton. He might just be giving a little extra time for Bonnert to get hot down there. So again, we'll remind you that if you're near the ballpark, still got time to come on out. It's Sunday Fun Day, which means kids run the bases after our ball game today. So come on out if you'd like and enjoy some good college baseball between these two teams. Final game of the Music City Classic. Second game of this 2-game series between these two teams. So Bryce Hewlett stands in, senior first baseman, batting with 2 on, nobody out. Shows bunt, throw back to second, and they don't have him as the shortstop Ketchup came in on that pickoff attempt, but Levin was able to get back. So Hewlett squared around to show bunt. Bison's elected to do the inside move back to second, but Levins was able to get back. We'll see if the bunt is still on. He is showing bunt. He pulls off, and I thought Ben Wood was going to call that. He almost made a motion, but he just pulled back and left it as a ball. So 1 ball, no strikes. Levins your runner at second. He singled to start the inning. And Anderson got a walk, and he's on at first. First baseman Malik Williams playing in front of him. Again shows bunt. Buxton spins the inside move, but does not throw as Ketchup was not over behind the runner at that point. Third baseman Will Hoyt, step or so in front of the bag at third base. So Buxton will probably need to cover that third baseline. Showing bunt, squares, misses it. Bertolani holds on to it. And that'll make the count 1 ball and 1 strike. Funk, the right fielder, would be on deck. We're playing in the top half of the 4th inning. Our score is 3-2 as Pittsburgh leads Lipscomb. It's already showing bunt, squares around, bunts it in front of the plate. Good bunt. Buxton picks it up. Will go to first after thinking about third. And Hewlett is able to successfully execute a sacrifice bunt and move the runners along 90 feet. So Levins will go to third, Anderson to second, and C.J. Funk will now bat with runners at second and third and 1 out. Funk was grounded out back in the second inning. He's now 4 for 18 on the season, the sophomore right fielder. Batting .222. So infield will elect to play back. We're still here in the 4th inning, 3-2 ball game. The Bisons will concede a run to get an out here. Outfield is straight away and fairly deep. Again, wind blowing out towards right center field, and that's a slider that'll miss outside for ball 1. Defensively again, Maxwell in left, Houghton in center, McMillan in right today. Will Hoyt at third, Ketchup at short, Stamps at second, Williams at first. And Chaz Bertolani is behind the plate. Ike Buxton has gone all the way for the Bisons, and he has a 1 ball, no strike count. And he throws a slider that's downstairs, and that'll be 2 balls and no strikes on Funk with Franks waiting on deck. Again, this Pittsburgh lineup came in batting .283 as a team. They had 14 hits yesterday. They've got 5 more already today, and so a very strong offensive club for Coach Mike Bell and the Panthers. Here comes the 2-0. Swings and taps it back towards Buxton. He jumps high to glove it, and he'll throw on to first. Nice play there. And they've got the runner hung up at second as Anderson is in between second and third. Williams is now running at the runner from home, and he drops the ball. Oh, my goodness. Bad break there for the Bisons. What happened was the runner at second base, who was Anderson, got too far off the bag. Williams correctly ran at him, and as he's running at him, the runner from third, which was Levins, decided to break home. He did so, and as Williams tried to fake there and throw to third, he drops the baseball. So Levins is going to score a run. Outstanding athletic play there by Ike Buxton to get that second out of the inning. And I don't know if they'll score that an error, but it's going to allow Anderson to advance to third. That'll be the 4th Panther run for the day, and it looks like that's going to be the end of the day for Ike Buxton. So we'll step aside for just a moment as we have a pitching change. Again, your score is Pitt 4, Lipscomb 2, and we'll be back with you with the new pitcher in just a moment. You're watching Lipscomb Bisons Baseball on YouTube Live. New Bison's pitcher is the sophomore left-hander Matthew Bonner, 5'7", 180-pounder out of Cave Creek, Arizona. Transfer from South Mountain Community College. Bonner out for his second appearance on the season. He's worked 2 innings, given up only 1 hit, 1 walk, and 4 strikeouts as he pitched last weekend. And he'll pitch to shortstop Brock Franks, who homered in his last at-bat. He's batting with 2 outs and a runner at third, which is Jack Anderson. 2 runs already home here in the inning, or 1 run home rather this inning. Breaking ball stays downstairs for ball 1. Levin started with a soft single to left field. Anderson walked, sacrificed to third by Hewlett, and then Funk hit a grounder back to the mound. But as the runner was hung up, the Bisons dropped the ball and allowed the run to score. So 1 run home in the inning with 1 hit. And that fastball will stay downstairs. 2 balls and no strikes to Franks. Top of the order, and Anderson waits on deck. Bonner, a hard-throwing left-hander. He's got a hard fastball and a sharp breaking ball that he will throw to these left-handed hitters. And there's the breaking ball, and that'll again stay downstairs. Bertolani keeps it in front of him. It'll be 3-0. Played 2 years at South Mountain Community College. 6 appearances in 2020, and in 2021 he had 48 strikeouts in 30 2/3 innings with 11 appearances. 6 of those were starts. A 2-4 record overall. Here comes the 3-0, and that's right through there for strike 1. So 3 balls and 1 strike to Brock Franks. So Bonner trying to keep it right here and keep the Bisons in this one, as it's been a back and forth affair so far. Here comes the 3-1 pitch from Matthew Bonner to Franks, and that's going to miss downstairs, ball 4. So that'll put runners at the corners back to the top of the order for Jordan Anderson. Anderson singled and was caught stealing in the first, grounded out in the third, so he's 1 for 2 on the day. 3 for 22 on the season. And Franks does not have a stolen base attempt on the season thus far. We mentioned that the Panthers don't tend to run a lot. They're now 4 of 8 for the entire season on stolen base attempts, so only stealing at a 50% clip. So one of the few things that this club does not do well. As we mentioned, they've hit the ball very well and pitched it very well so far statistically this season. And Bonner will start him off with a low fastball that'll catch the corner for a strike, strike 1. So in the inning, Livin singled, Anderson walked, sacrificed by Hewlett, ground out by Funk, and a walk to Adams, or Franks rather, and we're back to the top of the order and Anderson. The 0-1 is going to miss downstairs, 1-1. Duff waits on deck. Playing in the top half of the 4th inning, Pitt leading Lipscomb 4-2. We're glad you're with us here on YouTube Live. Again, all the Bison's home games this year will be streamed either on YouTube Live or ESPN Plus. Check the Lipscomb Sports website to find out your local listings on that one. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Ground ball toward the left side. Will Hoyt's going to glove it. He's going to throw on the run, and he retires him. So we got him to chase that breaking ball, 3rd out of the inning, and he'll strand a pair of runners. That's 3 stranded on the day with the Panthers. But the Panthers jump back out and add another one to their total. And as we head to the bottom half of the 4th inning, your score, Pitt 4, Lipscomb 2. You're watching Lipscomb Bison's Baseball on YouTube Live. We head to the home half of the fourth inning. Brady Devereaux back out on the mound for the Panthers after coming on and pitching very effectively. Came in and 2 men on and no one out and recorded 2 strikeouts and a fielder's choice to get out of the inning. And he pitches for his second inning work. He's on in relief from Ben Dragani. To face a new addition to the lineup, John Shields is going to bat for Cam McMillan. Shields batting .333 on the season, 3 hits in 9 trips to plate, 1 home run and 2 RBIs. And so the left-handed batting Shields will now come in and I assume would enter right field. And he shows bunt, lays it down, but it stays foul. And they're going to call that there's no way that ball was fair. They're going to call him out. I going to have to respectfully disagree with that one. Shields bunted it. It rolled outside the line and was laying there, but was ruled to be in fair territory. So he's going to be retired as the first out of the inning, and we won't have a replay, but I've got a good vantage point on that one. Would have to say that did not seem the call that was indicated, but nonetheless, Ketchup will bat. He popped out to first base with his first at bat, and he looks at a strike on the inside corner. No balls and 1 strike. So Shields showing bunt. Landed in the batter's box and then rolled just into foul territory, but the line is smeared a bit there. And it was ruled a fair ball. That's a slider that's going to stay outside. It'll be a ball and a strike. Again, without the benefit of replay, tough to get those calls overturned. There's really no other umpire in position to see that other than home plate umpire Ben Wood. Here comes the 1-1 pitch to Ketchup. Takes on the outside corner. Good spot there. Ball and 2 strikes. So Devereaux really has come in and done a great job throwing strikes, getting ahead of these Bison's hitters. Well, as we mentioned, worked himself out of a big jam in the 3rd inning with 2 on, nobody out. Here comes the 1-2. Swung on and hit on the ground towards 3rd. Duff has got it. He's going to take a couple steps and throw to first. And they'll retire Ketchup for the second out of the inning. Back to the top of the order in Maddox Houghton. Houghton's been on base twice, hasn't had an at-bat yet, though. He was hit by a pitch in the first, came around, scored a run on a wild pitch, and he walked and was stranded in the second. So 0 for 0 on the day, batting .294 on the season for the fine senior center fielder for the Bisons, Maddox Houghton. And he'll bat now 2 outs, bases empty, bottom of the 4th inning, and Pittsburgh leading 4-2, and that's a slider on the outside corner for strike 1. 4 runs, 5 hits, no errors for the Panthers. 2 runs, 2 hits, 1 error for the Bisons. Apparently they have charged an error on that play by Malik Williams. And base hit now from Maddox Houghton. He lifts that one just over shortstop. Good piece of hitting there. And Houghton will be on board for the 3rd straight time today. And he'll collect the 3rd hit of the day for the Bisons, and that'll give Mason Lundgren a chance to hit with 2 outs. Lundgren had a sacrifice bunt back in the 1st. It was called out on strikes in the 2nd, so he's 0 for 1 on the day. Batting .294 on the season so far. No homers and 4 RBIs. And Devereaux starts him out with a breaking ball downstairs. 1 ball, no strikes. Houghton 2 for 2 on stolen base attempts on the season. We know he runs well. Devereaux's pretty quick to the plate. He's got a short, compact takeoff and a short arm stroke. So we'll see if the Bisons elect to do something in the running game here. He is not running, and that's a breaking ball. It's going to get behind Levens, and a good read there on the dirt ball as Houghton advances to second. I think that'll go as a wild pitch. He's down in the dirt, and I think Levens was trying to hurry, make sure he kept it in front of him, and it just got behind him through the 5-hole a little bit there. So it'll be a 2-ball, no-strike count on Mason Lundgren with Maddox Houghton now in scoring position and 2 outs. Trace Wilhoit waits on deck if Lundgren can extend the inning here. Swings to the fastball in the outside corner, 2 balls and 1 strike. So good location there by Devereaux. Put that just off the outside corner, and Lundgren swung through it, 2-1. Shortstop Franks is circling behind Houghton, trying to cut down the lead. Now he'll back off and allow him to extend that lead. Swung on and fouled out of play. Another fastball, and it's 2-2. Again, Devereaux came in and had 2 strikeouts back in the 3rd inning. Hasn't walked anyone yet, so he's shown the ability to compete in the zone, which is what you want to see your relief pitchers do as they come in these situations. And he's going to step off and ask for going back through the sign, so Lundgren will step out. And we'll redo it again. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Maddox Houghton running at second. And Brady Devereaux is going to bring a 2-2 to Mason Lundgren. Just off the plate, 3-2. Didn't get him to chase that one. Good discipline there by Lundgren. So we'll see if Houghton tries to get a running lead here on a full count pitch. Again, left-handed batter, so we think he would be less likely to try to do so. Third baseman Duff is fairly far off the bag. He's not running, and the 3-2 pitch is swung on and hit into right field. It's going down. Funk is going to come up with it. They're going to wave Houghton home. Here comes the throw from Funk, and it's going to come through. Not in time. And Mason Lundgren has driven in the Bison's third run of the game. Nice piece of hitting there for Mason Lundgren. Took that 3-2 pitch, didn't try to do too much with it, hit it through into the right side. Houghton was not running on the play, but again, with contact and 2 outs, he came around. Funk had a reasonable throw, but not a close play at home, and the Bisons have cut the lead to 4-3. Trace Wilhoit will bat here. Wilhoit's seeing the ball well today. He's 2 for 2. He's got a double and a single and 2 trips to the plate. Starts him off with a breaking ball that's in there for strike 1. Trace doubled and scored back in the first and singled. Was cut down on the base pass courtesy of fielder's choice back in the third. Batting .211 on the young season, but know that this young man's a good hitter, one of the best hitters on the team per Coach Forehand. He hits the breaking ball to third. Duff's going to back up on it. He's going to take a moment and throw it to first and make another good strong throw. So good defensive play there as Duff is able to throw out Wilhoit for the third out of the inning. But the Bisons get back on the board. 1 run courtesy of 2 hits. They did strand a runner. They've now stranded 5 through the first 4 innings, and we have an update to our score. Your new score, Pittsburgh 4 and Lipscomb 3. You're watching Lipscomb Bisons Baseball on YouTube Live. We go to the top half of inning 5. Pitt leads Lipscomb 4-3, and Matthew Bonnert back out on the mound for the Bisons. As we expected, defensive change. John Shields will stay in the game to play in right field, so he stays in relief of Cam McMillan. And Sky Duff will lead things off for the Panthers. He's 0 for 2 on the day. Flew out to left field in the first and called out on strikes back in the third. So it'll be 2-3-4. Duff, Weller, and Hess up for the Panthers here. They've out hit the Bisons 5-4 and outscored them 4-3. Good ball game between these two clubs here on a Sunday afternoon in Nashville. Fastball in the inside corner, strike 1. So again, we mentioned Bonnert, a power pitcher, compact build, but power arm who will come at these hitters with a fastball and a breaking ball and a changeup. Coach Forehand and the staff really high on this young left-hander. Pitching in a big spot here in the middle of the ball game today, and here comes the 0-1 to Sky Duff. That's going to catch the outside corner for strike 2, so really good movement. He's worked both sides now, inside and out. Try to catch you up on some area scores involving ASUN Conference teams as well as some area opponents for the Bisons here during the course of this inning. But first we'll await the 0-2 pitch from Bonnert to Duff. Swings and fouls it back. Just got a piece of that fastball. So Tennessee's all over Iona again today, 11-0. I believe the Volunteers put up 23 runs on Friday and 29 yesterday. So Tennessee having a big weekend against Iona. Jacksonville is leading Troy 2-1 the top of the 5th. Southern Miss and Jacksonville State are scoreless in the top of the 2nd. Liberty is all over Winthrop again, 9-0 in the bottom of the 4th. Liberty currently ranked 21st in the country as they play this weekend. Here comes the 0-2. Breaking ball just got a piece on the outside corner. Staying alive is Duff, and the count will remain 0-2. Connecticut's leading North Florida 3-2 in the top of the 6th. North Alabama and Cincinnati have been canceled today. Florida Gulf Coast leads Bethune-Cookman 5-1 in the top of the 8th, and Ohio leading Eastern Kentucky 4-0 in the top of the 6th. And again, the 0-2 is curveball, just stays high. It'll be a ball and 2 strikes as Duff turned out of the way. Stetson leading Columbia 2-1 top of the 5th. Bellarmine and Southeast Missouri State were due to be underway, but we don't have a score from that one yet. And Central Arkansas and Southern Illinois due to play a little bit later today. Belmont and Youngstown State are scoreless in the top of the 2nd. And Bowling Green leading Austin Peay 1-0 in the 1st. So that's your area and ASUN scoreboard. And here comes the 1-2 from Bonnert to Duff. Just off the corner, good spot. But he didn't get the call, and it's 2 balls, 2 strikes. Again, the Bison's back in action on Tuesday as they travel over to Murfreesboro to play MTSU. 3 o'clock start for Central for that one. And then on Wednesday, they'll be back home here at Dugan Field hosting Belmont, first installment of the Battle of the Boulevard. 2-2 pitch, swung on and fouled it. I believe he fouled it off his leg there. Drops his bat and takes a little bit of a stroll. So the count's going to remain 2-2. Give us a chance also to update you about the ASUN conference results so far. Again, no conference games played, but the East Division, number of teams off to an excellent start. Kennesaw State 7-1 on the season. Jacksonville 5-1. Liberty 5-1. As we mentioned, ranked in the top 25 in the country. Florida Gulf Coast 5-2. Stetson 3-3, and North Florida trailing at 1-6 on the season. And that's a breaking ball. It's going to miss inside, and so good at bat by Duff. He's worked it all the way back full now. 3 balls, 2 strikes after he got down 2 strikes in the count. Leadoff man on the 5th inning here as the Pitt Panthers are leading the Lipscomb Bisons 4-3. And Duff a tough out at the plate. Here's the payoff, swung on and fouled off again. So Duff really battling, and again, you tip your cap, you know that he's an exceptional hitter. He's played a lot of baseball already for Coach Bell and the Panthers with an outstanding campaign in 2021. As we mentioned, got him named to the All-Atlantic Coast Conference 3rd team and the All-Region team as well. So the battle continues between Sky Duff and Matthew Bonnert as we await another payoff pitch. Oh, he hit him. So that came inside and caught him on the elbow, and he'll be aboard. And it is the 5th inning in a row that the Panthers have gotten the leadoff man on. So they have consistently put pressure on this Bison's team. The trainer, Kyle Cook, is going to go out and have a look at Duff. As I said again, I believe that caught him on the right elbow, and that's got to hurt. Fastball that's coming in there. We know Bonner can run it in the low to mid-90s, and so that's a tough spot. Not a lot of insulation over that particular spot, but Duff is going to shake it off and say he's okay and going to stay in the game. And that's going to bring Jeffrey Weller to the plate. Weller is 0 for 1 on the day, grounded out back in the 1st and was hit by a pitch in the 3rd. For 29 on the young season so far for the senior second baseman Jeffrey Weller. And big lead for Duff over at 1st. He's 0 for 2 on stolen base attempts on the season. Still looking for his first stolen base, but a pretty big lead for a lefty, and he's not running, and the pitch is fouled back. Again, we've consistently seen these Panthers are an aggressive fastball hitting team. If they see a fastball near the zone, they're going to put a swing on it. And that's what you saw there as Weller took a big hack at that one and fouled it back to the screen, 0-1. We mentioned the East Division of the Atlantic Sun Conference. The West Division off to a little bit of a slower start. Lipscomb is at 3-2 on the season. Eastern Kentucky 3-3. Central Arkansas 1-3. North Alabama 1-3. Bellarmine 1-5. And Jacksonville State 0-6. The throw will go to 1st. So Lipscomb with the best record so far on the west side. The east side of the ASUN is off to a fast start. Of course, still early in the season. And a lot of differences in scheduling. Some teams elect to start with some games that they feel a little more comfortable in, and other teams will have a very challenging early season schedule. So we'll watch that division record as we go forward. Here comes the 0-1 from Bonnert, and that's just off the corner. Fastball that stayed outside. So that one had some arm side run to it there. And he missed off the plate. It'll be a ball and a strike to Jeffrey Weller. Kyle Hess waits on deck as Sky Duff is running at first base. Aboard courtesy being hit in the elbow. And he has what I would describe as an extremely generous lead over there, particularly for a left-handed pitcher. He is almost daring him to throw at him, and he will oblige and send him back to get his uniform dirty. Again, not sure that he's a threat to run so much as that they're trying to disrupt some timing and perhaps get Bonnert to focus more on him than he does on the batter, because that is, as I said, what I would call a very generous lead for a left-handed pitcher. We await a 1-1 pitch from to Weller from Bonnert. Fastball is going to stay high, 2 balls and a strike. And Duff's not showing anything suggesting that he's going to run in these first couple of offerings from Bonnert. So we're playing in the top of the 5th inning. Pitt is leading Lipscomb 4-3 if you're just joining us. And quick throw to first, snap throw, and he gets back. Bison's got off to the quick start today. They put 2 runs up in the bottom of the first. Pitt tied it with 2 in the top of the second. Pitt scored a single run in the third and the fourth, and the Bisons answered with a run in the bottom of the fourth. So that's how we got to a 4-3 count as we play here in the top half of the 5th inning. Matthew Bonnert on in relief for starter Ike Buxton for the Bisons. Again, not running, and fastball is going to stay outside and 3-1. So they may have disrupted Bonnert's timing a little bit here, as Weller has now got a 3-1 count that he is facing. So we mentioned Ike Buxton started for the Bisons. Went 3 2/3 innings. He gave up 5 hits, 4 runs. 3 of them were earned. He only walked 1 and he struck out 2. But he was victimized by the long ball and throw to first and close play. Bisons thought they might have him there, but Duff just gets back. Again, pushing the limits of that lead and getting back. So it's a 3-ball, 1-strike count to Jeffrey Weller. Nobody out. Long hold, and again he goes back to first, and looked like Duff might have flinched a little bit on that, but he was back easily that time. As Bonnert elected to go with a long hold. So Bonnert, you're doing a good job mixing up his looks, mixing up his holds. But Duff, young man with experience, and doing a good job being annoying on the base pass, and he got him. Snap throw to first. And Coach Bell is going to come out and argue that, but to no avail. Because again, we do not have replay here, so I don't see any way that that can be overturned. And his appeal is going to be heard, but not granted. And so good job there by Bonnert. Again, multiple throws over, but he eventually picks Duff off. And as I mentioned, a big lead by Duff, and that was that snap throw where he just popped off the rubber and quickly threw over there. And so shows a lot of arm strength and good mechanics to get that over. Good tag applied by Malik Williams. So the count is still 3 balls and 1 strike to Jeffrey Weller, but now we've got 1 out. And gets the call in the outside corner, 3-2. So Bison's bench and crowd are getting into it a little bit. There's been a little bit of spirited back and forth, I think, between the dugouts today from where we can tell on our vantage point. So 3 balls, 2 strike, 1 out here as Weller awaits the payoff from Bonnert. Swings and fouls it out of play to the right side, and we'll do it again at 3-2. Again, sun's come out here. We've got a broken cloud cover. Wind's blowing out of the north-northeast. It's blowing out towards right center field. It's been between 5 and 7 miles per hour so far today. Ken Dugan Field's a symmetric ballpark. We're 330 down the lines, 375 to the power alleys, and 400 to straightaway center field. But the Panthers have used the long ball very effectively in the first 2 games here in this series. Here comes the payoff from Bonnert. And he calls him strike 3. Weller doesn't like it, but that was an excellent pitch executed there by Bonnert for the 2nd out of the inning. And the Bison's dugout has come alive, as have their fans here to rally a bit. And 2 outs, bases empty. Kyle Hess will come to the plate. He has singled and scored a run and struck out swinging, so 1 for 2 on the day. 393 on the season. Again, 3 home runs and 9 RBIs for Kyle Hess, the junior left fielder. Shows bunt, pulls back from a breaking ball, ball 1. Big shift on, so shortstop Ketchup is the only man on the left-hand side of the infield, and he's playing right in the hole between short and third. Third baseman Will Hoyt is up the middle, a couple of steps to the third base side of second base. Again shows bunt. That's going to bounce away. 2 balls and no strikes. And that bunt may be to try to draw the Bisons out of that shift. Because obviously if he put a bunt down the third baseline, I think he'd easily be aboard. But Bisons might be willing to trade a bunt off the bat of Hess. Power hitting left-handed hitter's already got 3 home runs on the season. Here comes the 2-0. He's not bunting, and that's a fastball in the outside corner. Great spot there by Bonnert. So he fights back to a 2-ball, 1-strike count. Stamps, the second baseman, swung out. It's shallow in the outfield grass and a couple steps left of where he would normally play. First baseman Williams is close to the line, and again, third baseman Wilhoit almost up the middle here. And here comes the 2-1 pitch. That fastball missed off the plate, and it's 3-1. Tatum Levens, the catcher, would be next. We're playing in the top of the 5th inning, and Pitt is leading Lipscomb 4-3. Matthew Bonnert on in relief of Ike Buxton has done a really nice job since he's come in. Here comes the 3-1. That's on the outside corner fastball. Great spot, 3-2. Bonnert came in the bottom of the 4th, walked the first batter he faced, and then got a ground out to end the inning. And in this inning, he hit the leadoff batter Duff, but picked him off and then got a strikeout. And we are going to await a payoff pitch from Bonnert to Kyle Hess. And he missed downstairs, ball 4. So second walk issued by Bonnert. It'll be a 2-out walk, and it'll bring Tatum Levens to the plate. Levens homered in the second inning, 2-run shot, and singled and scored a run in the 4th. So Levens having a big day so far. He's up to 280 on the season. Got 2 home runs and 7 RBIs. Another one of these left-handed bats, as we mentioned earlier, if you joined us late. Total of 5 left-handed batters in the lineup for the Panthers, but they don't seem to pay much attention to that in terms of lefty-righty matchups. They had that same lineup yesterday against a left-handed starter, and they executed very effectively. So Levens bats with 2 outs, runner on at first. Breaking ball is going to miss downstairs. It'll be 1 ball and no strikes. And if you're wondering at home, and I know you are, Kyle Hess has 1 stolen base on the season in 1 attempt. But he has about half the lead that Duff had when he got picked off, so he appears to be a bit more conservative than Duff was, and he's not running, and that's a breaking ball that's going to miss inside and low, and it'll be 2-0. As I mentioned, Duff had about the biggest lead that I've seen against a left-handed pitcher this season. Eventually got himself picked off after drawing a number of throws over. But a lot of coaches will instruct their players. They want to see just how far they can get off and put some pressure on the pitcher, and Duff certainly did that. Here comes the 2-0 from Bonnert to Levens. Swings and hits it back up the middle. Stamps is going to come over and glove it. He's going to flip to ketchup, and that'll be the 3rd out of the inning. So Bonnert escapes the jam with no damage done there. The Panthers will strand another runner. They've stranded 4, and we head to the bottom half of the 5th inning. And your score, Pittsburgh 4, Lipscomb 3. You're watching Lipscomb Bisons Baseball on YouTube Live. Into the home half of the fifth inning, Malik Williams, Rudy Maxwell, and Chaz Bertolani due up to face Brady Devereaux. He's pitching third inning relief here. And he starts him off with a slider off the plate, 4-1. Ben Dragani started, got into trouble in the third inning, and Devereaux has been effective since he came on. He did surrender one run in the fourth, rather. And that one's going to float inside, 4-2. Devereaux coming in that third, 2 on, nobody out. Got a couple strikeouts and a ground out, and big moment in the game. He surrendered the 1 run in the fourth, and we're at a 4-3 game, and that one's going to miss inside. And Malik Williams has gotten ahead 3-0. Rudy Maxwell rating on deck. 4 runs, 5 hits, no errors for the Panthers. 3 runs, 4 hits, 1 error for the Bisons, and we've got some discussion coming on here from the dugout. Coach Bell, something to say to the home plate umpire. Not sure what that conversation was about, but there's a strike through there, 3-1. Three-one pitch hammered into left center field. Williams hit that well, and he's going to be aboard with a base hit. Be the 5th Bison's hit of the day. And it'll bring up Rudy Maxwell. And Maxwell had an RBI ground out back in the first inning. He's also struck out. Oh, he's 0 for 2 on the day, batting .286 on the season. He's got 1 home run to go with 3 RBIs. Devereaux now up to 33 pitches as he works in his third inning. We do see a little bit of activity down in the Pitt bullpen. And Devereaux apparently wants a new baseball, and so he's going to walk out and ask for that. And tell home plate umpire Ben Wood, thank you for that. I appreciate it. See if that one's more to his liking than the last one. So Rudy Maxwell bats here. Malik Williams running at first. Maxwell does not have a sacrifice on the season, and we'll see if the Bisons elect to play small ball here. Bertolani due up on deck. Maxwell looks at a fastball just off the corner. 1 ball, no strikes. So Devereaux again, it's come on shown fastball slider combo. I do believe he's thrown a changeup here and there. But a lively fastball and a power arm is Brady Devereaux, and he's ready to work quickly here. Here's the 1-0. That's going to bounce away from Levin. Slider in the dirt. He still doesn't see it. It's rolled all the way to the screen. But Williams is going to stop at second base, so that'll be a wild pitch. That'll be ball 2 on Rudy Maxwell. 2 balls and no strikes. That one got away from him. First baseman Hewlett now is going to creep in, seeing if the Bisons might try to put a bunt down to push Williams over to third with 1 out. He's on at second with nobody out currently, and Rudy Maxwell's got a 2 ball, no strike count. Second baseman Weller is shaded towards the bag, but back into a normal depth. He's not bunting, and he swings and taps it towards third, and Duff's going to check the runner at second and throw on to first. So Bisons elect to let Maxwell swing away there, and he grounds out for the first out of the inning and does not advance the runner. So that'll bring up Bertolani, batting with 1 out. And runner at second. Chaz flew out to center in his first at-bat and then hit into a fielder's choice back in the third. Batting .364 on the campaign. No homers and 2 RBIs. Again, Malik Williams, your runner at second base. Starts him off with a breaking ball that'll catch the inside corner for a no ball, 1 strike count. Ethan Stamps scheduled to be the next Bison's hitter to come to the plate as we play here in the bottom half of inning number 5. Pitt leading Lipscomb 4-3. Final game of the Music City Classic, this 3-team tournament that's been happening this weekend. Another breaking ball almost hit him. That stayed inside, ball and a strike. Bradley, Pittsburgh, and Lipscomb have all played round robin games. Pitt split a pair of games with Bradley, defeating them on Friday and losing on Saturday, and they defeated Lipscomb yesterday. So 4th game of the weekend for the Panthers. Here's the 1-1, swung on and hit foul. Ball and 2 strikes. Fastball on the outside part there. Bisons defeated Bradley on Friday by a score of 14-0. Came back and lost big to Pitt yesterday, 16-0, and are playing for their 3rd game of the weekend. So 1 ball, 2 strikes to Chaz Bertolani. Malik Williams is out at second base. He reached on a base hit and advanced to second on a wild pitch. And he's in scoring position with 1 out, and Bertolani swings and hits it back up the middle. Williams had to hold for some reason. They're going to wave him now. The throw is going to be from Anderson towards home plate, and it's not going to be in time, and Chaz Bertolani has tied the game. So I don't think Malik Williams saw that one well off the bat as he held up. It was clearly headed into center field, but nonetheless, by the time Anderson could chase it down, Williams was easily able to score from first, and so Chaz Bertolani has tied the game with an RBI base hit. He's on at first base now with one out, and Ethan Stamps is going to bat. Stamps has reached via a walk and struck out swinging, so he's 0 for 1 on the day. Only got 6 at-bats on the season, 1 hit. Looks at a slider downstairs for ball 1. And I'm sure that Chaz Bertolani would like me to tell you that he is 1 for 1 on stolen bases on the season. You know, those catchers are sensitive about the comment that they run like a catcher. And so Bertolani actually is an extremely athletic young man, runs well, knows the running game, and he does have a stolen base. So he's a threat to run. Devereaux, though, is quick to the plate. And again, he throws, and Stamps swings through an inside fastball. And it'll be 1 ball and 1 strike on Ethan Stamps. John Shields waits on deck. We're playing in the bottom half of inning number 5. The Bisons have fought back to tie this one 4-4. It's been a back-and-forth affair all day long. As Brady Devereaux, the second pitcher of the day, he's going to throw to first, and Bertolani's going to dive back in. Coach Forehand going through the signs down at first base. Big gap on the right side. The second baseman, Weller, is pulled way over toward the bag. And again, first baseman Hewlett having to hold the runner on, so you'd wonder if the Bisons might have tried to something like a hit and run here, depending on the location of the pitch. Here comes the 1-1. He's not running, and that's a slider, and must have missed downstairs. It was definitely on the outside of the plate, but it's ruled a ball. It's 2 balls and 1 strike on Stamps. So again, Coach Forehand going through a myriad of signs. And Stamps has got a 2-ball, 1 strike count with Bertolani at first. He's running, swung on and hit on the air to the right side. Funk is drifting over. He gloves it, and he's going to throw all the way to first, and they're going to double up Bertolani. So bad luck there for the Bisons. It looks like it was indeed a hit and run. Stamps did his job and hit it to the right side, but it hung up in the air. Funk was able to get under it in right field for the second out of the inning, and they threw back and doubled off Bertolani. But the Bisons do pick up 1 run on 2 hits as they've roared back to tie this game. No runners left on base. The Bisons have stranded 5. We're through 5 complete innings, and your new score, Lipscomb 5 and Pittsburgh 5. You're watching Lipscomb Bisons Baseball on YouTube Live. We're headed to the 6th inning, and we've got a brand new ball game, 4-4 between Lipscomb and Pittsburgh, and Matthew Bonnert out to start his 3rd inning of work for the Bisons. He's on in relief of the starter Ike Buxton, and he'll face 6, 7, and 8, Anderson, Hewlett, and Funk. For the Panthers, who've banged out 5 hits on the day, the Bisons have actually now out-hit the Panthers 6-5. And Anderson stands in. He's had a walk and a ground out on his 2 trips to the plate, and he looks at a breaking ball that'll stay downstairs for ball 1. I want to say congratulations to Coach Acuff and the Lipscomb Bisons basketball team, victorious yesterday over Central Arkansas on Senior Day, and they will be hosting a game on Tuesday night for the ASUN playoffs. That's hit on the ground to catch up at short. Throws on to first, and they'll retire Anderson for the first out of the inning. Also, congratulations to Coach Sumsky and the Lady Bisons, who are also victorious over Central Arkansas on Senior Day yesterday, and they'll be hosting a playoff game on Wednesday night, first round, again also hosting North Florida. So both the men's and women's basketball teams in action in the ASUN tournament this week, Tuesday and Wednesday nights at Allen Arena against North Florida both nights. We invite you to come out and support the Bison basketball teams as they wrap up their spring campaign. Swung through the fastball there, and it's no balls and one strikes against Bryce Hewlett. Hewlett grounded out in the second and then had a sacrifice bunt in the fourth. Batting one out, bases empty in the top half of the sixth. Swung on and hit on the ground towards Malik Williams. He's going to glove it. He's going to flip to Bonnert covering, and he's going to get there just in time. So nicely done in both ends of that play. It'll be a 3-1 ground out for the second out of the inning. So Williams took a step back into his right. No hesitation from Bonnert getting over to cover as Hewlett runs well, but he's retired for the second out of the inning. So 2 outs, bases empty for C.J. Funk. Funk's grounded out twice in 2 trips to the plate today. One other action of Lipscomb Athletics today. The softball team has dropped a pair of games in Youngsville, Louisiana in the weekend tournament they're playing in. That's a fastball in the outside corner for strike one, but we do want to send our congratulations to Bison softball coach Kristen Ryman. She notched her 500th career win as head coach of the Bisons in 17 seasons. That came earlier this week, and so congratulations to Coach Ryman on her outstanding career here at Lipscomb. That's a fastball that's going to stay inside, and leaving the count at a ball and a strike on Funk. Bisons have yet to retire the Panthers in a 1-2-3 inning, although in the first inning they did get a stolen base, caught stealing, that allowed them to face the minimum number of hitters. But outside of that, the Panthers have had the leadoff runner on board every inning until this inning. So that one was a breaking ball that caught the outside corner. 1 ball, 2 strikes. So tip your cap to Matthew Bonnert. He's come on and done a good job in relief of Ike Buxton. And he's got a 1 ball, 2 strike count on C.J. Funk with Brock Franks on deck. 1-2, fastball stays high, 2-2. Again, Buxton went the first 3 2/3, and Bonnert has now worked 2 full innings. Hasn't allowed a hit. It's walked 2 and struck out 1. Here comes the 2-2. Breaking ball in the dirt. And it's 3 balls, 2 strike on C.J. Funk. Matthew Bonnert out of Cave Creek, Arizona, transfer from South Mountain Community College, playing his first season here in Nashville and his second appearance on the season, and he's been very effective thus far. Here comes the payoff pitch from Bonnert to Funk. Swung on and fouled at the plate, fastball in his hands, and Funk stays alive. So we'll do it all again. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, bases empty. And the payoff. Swings and a miss, strike 3. So first 1-2-3 inning of the day for the Bisons, and Bonnert has nothing doing for the Panthers here in the top half of the 6th. We'll head to the home half of the 6th inning. Your score, Lipscomb 4, Pittsburgh 4. You're watching Lipscomb Bisons Baseball on YouTube Live. We're headed to the home half of the 6th inning. Lipscomb has 4 runs, 6 hits, and 1 error. Pittsburgh has 4 runs, 5 hits, and no errors. And we have a new pitcher on the mound. He's the freshman Jonathan Bautista. 6'3", 202-pounder out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Springside Chestnut Hill Academy. He is a true freshman. He's seeing his second activity of the season. He's pitched 1 inning, didn't give up a hit, walked 2, and struck out 2. So a big moment for this true freshman as Bautista comes in a 4-4 game. He'll face Shields, Ketchup in the top of the order, Maddox Houghton, as we play baseball here in the bottom half of the 6th inning of a 4-4 game. We're in Nashville, Tennessee, and we're glad you're with us here on this Sunday afternoon. And he starts him off with a fastball inside for ball 1. Shields came on and batted in the 4th inning and put down a bunt. It was ruled out as it was picked up and thrown to first base by the catcher Levens. Shields had thought it stayed foul, and so he really didn't make much of an attempt to run. Here comes the 1-0. That's going to miss inside, like a breaking ball there maybe. It's going to be 2 balls and no strikes. So again, Ben Dragani started. Brady Devereaux relieved him in the 3rd inning and did a terrific job. Did end up surrendering 2 runs, but was very effective in snuffing out the threat in the 3rd inning when he came in. Here comes the 2-0 to Shields. Swings through the fastball there, 2-1. Shields hitting .300 on the season, 3 hits and 10 trips, 1 home run and 2 RBIs. Left-handed swinging John Shields watches that one go down and in for ball 3. So hard-throwing freshman right-hander Jonathan Bautista is down 3-1 to Shields with Ketchup on deck. Again, it's been a back-and-forth affair. Both teams scratching runs out here and there, and some effective relief pitching on both sides. Here's the 3-1, and he swings and fouls that one back to the screen. That looked like a slider that stayed high, but he fought it back. Bisons jumped out early, got a 2-run first inning, and went up 2-0. Pitt tied it in the top of the 2nd. Pitt added a single run in the 3rd, run in the 4th. The Bisons got 1 in the bottom of the 4th and 1 in the bottom of the 5th, and that's got us to 4-4 as these two teams battle it out in the last game of this weekend round-robin tournament. That one's going to just miss inside. Didn't get the call there, and he's going to get a walk to John Shields. That one was very close, but he missed off the inside part of the plate. Caleb Ketchup will come to the bat. Ketchup popped out back in the 2nd and grounded out in the 4th, so 0 for 2 on the day. Ketchup does not have a sacrifice on the season, but we'll look to see if he might be looking to put a bunt down here at the top of the order. Maddox Houghton on deck, and the Panthers are certainly thinking so. Third baseman Duff is a couple of steps inside the bag. Double play depth up the middle, and Ketchup is squaring and pulls back and takes a fastball for a strike. Duff charging hard from 3rd. First baseman Hewlett holding the runner on at 1st, and again, double play depth up the middle for Franks and Weller. Freshman Jonathan Bautista on. 2nd action of the season. No balls and 1 strike to Caleb Ketchup. He squares, pulls off, ball's down in the dirt, and it's going to get away and allow Shields to advance to 2nd. So good dirt ball read there by Shields. Levens did a good job, blocked it, but it bounced in front of him and came off far enough that Shields was able to advance to 2nd. And so that's going to put a runner in scoring position with nobody out, and the count will be even, a ball and a strike on Ketchup. And we'll see now if Coach Forehand wants to sacrifice him over. The first baseman Hewlett way in, playing in on the edge of the grass at 1st. Duff now will have to retreat and stay closer to the bag at 3rd in case the ball comes down the line. And we'll see how they elect to play it. 1-1 pitch to Ketchup. He's squaring. He bunts. It's out in front of the plate. It's a good bunt. It's going to be fielded there. Bautista's going to have to go to 1st. And so Ketchup does his job, moves the runner over to 3rd base on that sacrifice bunt. Nice job by Caleb Ketchup. Executing one of those basics of baseball fundamentals, but you don't see as much anymore. But I know Coach Forehand's grateful for that man to get his bunt down, and he'll get a nice hand from his teammates as he comes back to the dugout. So that'll bring up the top of the order, and Maddox Houghton. He'll have a runner now at 3rd base and 1 out. Maddox been on base all 3 times today. He was hit by a pitch, he walked, and he singled and scored a run. He scored 2 runs today. Batting .333 on the season. He does have 1 home run and 4 RBIs. Infield is in on the grass. Take away any thought of a squeeze. That one's just about got past Levens. He very athletic play to dive out and keep that one from going back to the screen and allowing Shields to score. Shields has got good speed, And we're going to have time called, and Coach Bell is going to take a slow walk out to the mound. We do have some activity down in the Pitt bullpen. Again, from our vantage point, difficult to get a hold of numbers, but there are a number of players moving about in various stages of preparation, so they'd be stalling for a little bit of time here. The count will be a ball and no strike when we resume play. Again, a reminder that the Bison's back in action on Tuesday afternoon. They'll be at Middle Tennessee State, 3 p.m. Central start to that game from Murfreesboro. And back home here at Ken Dugan Field on Wednesday, 4 p.m. start against Belmont for the Battle of the Boulevard Part 1. Next weekend, there'll be a 3-game series. Northern Illinois will come in. There'll be a 4 p.m. start on Friday, 2 p.m. on Saturday, and 1 p.m. on Sunday. And I believe from what I've seen, the weather is expected to be a lot better this week than what it's been. So come on out to the ballpark and support the Bisons. Umpire Ben Wood has joined the conference at the mound, and he's decided to break it up, and they're going to stick with Bautista here as the freshman is looking at a 1-ball, no-strike count on Maddox Houghton. John Shields running at third. Shields with good speed. Again, the infield is pulled in. You've got Duff at third, Franks at short, Weller at second, and Hewlett at first. Outfield straight away in normal depth. Wind's blowing out towards right center field. So Houghton would love to lift a ball or get one out into the outfield here, and he awaits the 1-0 pitch from Bautista. Takes that one through there for a strike. Looks like he might be taken all the way. It's a ball and a strike. Mason Lundgren waits on deck. 4-4 ball game, bottom of the 6th inning. Lipscomb and Pittsburgh, a back and forth affair here on Sunday afternoon. Here comes the 1-1. Swung on and hit back up the middle, and that's going to get the run home. So a soft liner off the end of the bat, and Houghton, big turn at first, but he's going to hold there, and he's driven home the 5th run of the game, and the Bisons lead 5-4. So good piece of hitting there, Maddox Houghton. Didn't try to do too much with it. That ball would have potentially been an out if the infield's back at normal depth, but the infield was in on the edge of the grass, and so he was just able to lift it over the drawn-in infield. He's on at first now, and that's going to be the end of the day for Bautista. So tough luck there for Bautista. Certainly made a good pitch, but Houghton was able to get the better of it, and so he will exit after facing 3 batters. And as we have a pitching change, we'll step aside. Your new score, Lipscomb 5, Pittsburgh 4. You're watching Lipscomb Bisons Baseball on YouTube Live. We're back at Ken Dugan Field. The new pitcher for the Pittsburgh Panthers is the freshman Quinn Konashevsky. Konashevsky, a 5'11", 182-pound freshman out of Saginaw, Michigan. Again, another true freshman. This will be just his 2nd appearance on the season. He's pitched 1 inning, gave up 1 hit, 1 run. It was earned, 1 walk, no strikeouts. So 2 freshmen getting the mound here in the 6th inning for the Panthers as Coach Mike Bell looking to get these freshmen some big game experience, and a big moment for both of them. Jonathan Bautista started this inning, and now Konashevsky's on in relief. There's one run home already this inning for the Bisons, courtesy of the RBI base hit from Maddox Houghton, and Mason Lundgren is going to stand in for this lefty-on-lefty matchup. Houghton running at first, and he looks at a breaking ball through there, strike one. Lundgren, sacrifice bunt back in the first, struck out, called out on strikes in the second, rather, and he had a single in the fourth. So he's 1 for 2 on the day. And Konashevsky looks like he sort of comes across his body a little bit with not a true sidearm, but something approaching that. Decent lead at first, and he swings across the slider there. It's a ball and 2 strikes, or correction, no balls, 2 strikes, as Konashevsky quickly gets ahead. He played at Heritage High School in Saginaw, Michigan. First team All-State there through 56 innings last year. And he's got a strikeout of Lundgren, so 3 pitches and a strikeout as Konashevsky comes in and gets the swinging strikeout of Lundgren for the second out of the inning. So with 2 outs, Trace Wilhoit will come up. Wilhoit has doubled, singled, and grounded out on the day and scored a run. So 2 outs, runner at first is Maddox Houghton, and Quinn Konashevsky will like to keep it right here. That one's going to miss outside. It'll be 1 ball and no strikes. So to recap the inning, Shields started out with a walk, advanced to second on a wild pitch, was sacrificed to third by Ketchup, and then an RBI base hit from Houghton over the drawn-in infield. He's on at first, and Lundgren struck out after a pitching change, and that one stays inside, almost hit him 2-0. So 1 run home courtesy of 1 hit in the inning. The Bisons have reclaimed that 5-4 lead. They've scored now in 3 straight innings, putting up single runs in the 4th, 5th, and 6th. 7 hits on the day for the Bisons, 5 for the Panthers. And that one's going to go downstairs for ball 3. So 3-0 now with Wilhoit at the plate and the right-hander Malik Williams waiting on deck. Again, Konashevsky kind of steps across his body and fires from a low arm slot. I wouldn't call it a true sidearm, but definitely creating some angles there as this lanky lefty. Here comes the 3-0, and that one's going to be right through there for 3-1. Still a lot of activity down in the Panthers bullpen. There are a number of players down there, as we mentioned. We can't really see who's throwing, but the 3-1 is off the plate, ball 4. So first walk issued by Konashevsky, and that'll bring up Malik Williams. Runners first and second, 2 outs. Malik has walked a couple times and had a base hit, scored a run. So officially 1 for 1 on the day, 333 on the season. He does have 3 home runs and 11 RBIs to lead the Bisons in both of those, and I think there's going to be another pitching change here. It looks like Coach Bell has already signaled to the bullpen, and he may go a little bit more of righty on righty here. So Konashevsky's day is a short one. He does come in and get the strikeout of Lundgren, and then he walks Wilhoit, and we'll have another call to the bullpen. So we'll step aside once again, playing in the bottom of the 6th inning, Lipscomb 5, Pittsburgh 4. You're watching Lipscomb Bisons baseball on YouTube Live. pitcher of the inning for the Pittsburgh Panthers, and he is redshirt senior right-hander Dylan Lester. He's out of Brenham, Texas. 6'1", 210-pounder. And he'll be making his third appearance on the season. He's worked 2 2/3 innings, given up 5 hits, 4 runs, 4 earned, no walks, and 4 strikeouts. So he has no record and an ERA of 13.50. And he'll be pitching to Malik Williams here with 2 outs and runners on first and second. Houghton running at second, Will Hoyt running at first. So good speed out there at second in scoring position. And again, 2 outs in a 5-4 ball game as Lipscomb is leading Pitt. And third pitcher of the inning is Lester, 5th pitcher overall of the day for the Panthers, after Logan Evans pitched a complete game in a 7-inning game yesterday. So the bullpen is rested today for Coach Bell. He starts him off with a breaking ball that's in there for a strike, 0-1. And we mentioned the 2 true freshmen who started this inning with Bautista and Konashevsky, and Lester's at the other end of the spectrum. He's a young man who's been playing in college since 2017, so very experienced arm here. Here comes the 0-1 pitch to Williams. Swung on and hit in the air towards center field. It's drifting down. Anderson coming in, and he's going to glove it for the 3rd out of the inning. So Malik got a little bit in front of that one and hits it softly into center field for the 3rd out of the inning. So the Bisons will strand 2 more runners. They've stranded 7 on the day, but they do jump back in front. They got 1 run on 1 hit, and those 2 men stranded. And we've now played 6 full innings, and your new score, Lipscomb 5 and Pittsburgh 4. You're watching Lipscomb Bisons Baseball on YouTube Live. We're headed to the top half of the 7th inning, and Lipscomb is on top of Pittsburgh 5-4. Matthew Bonnard is back out, starting his 4th inning of work. He's worked 2 1/3 innings so far, very effectively. He hasn't allowed a hit, no runs. He's walked 2 and struck out 2. Ike Buxton started, went 3 2/3, gave up 5 hits, 3 earned runs. And Bonnard will be facing 9, 1, and 2 for this Pittsburgh lineup with Brock Franks, Jordan Anderson, and Sky Duff. Second game of this back-to-back series between these 2 teams. Pittsburgh won big yesterday, 16-0, but this one's been an entertaining back-and-forth affair as the 2 teams have traded blows today, and it's Bonnard's turn to see if he can hold it right here after the Bisons just tacked on a run in the bottom of the 6th to take a 5-4 lead. So Brock Franks will stand in there. He homered back in the 3rd inning, reached on a walk in the 4th, so he's had a big day so far. Just batting .222 on the season, but put a good swing on one earlier, and he hits that on the ground towards Stamps at second. He's going to come up with it and throw over to first, and 1 pitch and 1 out for Bonnard here in the top half of the 7th inning. That'll turn us back over to the top of the lineup, and Jordan Anderson. Anderson led off the ball game with a single, but was caught stealing and has grounded out twice since then. So slow start to the season for Anderson, batting just .130. He's got 3 hits and 23 trips on the season. And again, another big shift on second baseman Stamps. Moves up the middle. And Bonnard starts him off with a fastball in the outside corner for strike 1. Bonnard's thrown 44 pitches, as we mentioned, working in his 4th inning here. We do see a little bit of activity. A couple of hurlers throwing down in the Bison's bullpen. One is the right-hander Gavin Grubbs. Can't get an eye on the other one just quite yet. But Coach Forehand and Coach Myers will call on the bullpen to hold it right here. That's a fastball going to miss off the plate. It'll be a ball and a strike. Yesterday, the Bisons ended up using 5 pitchers, and it didn't really matter. The Panthers treated all of them fairly rudely with a lot of offense as they banged out 14 hits. Here comes the 1-1. That's down in the dirt, 2-1. The Bisons do have a deep bullpen. I believe they have 19 pitchers on the roster, so there are a lot of options for Coach Forehand and Coach Myers to go to. 2 balls, 1 strike to leadoff man Jordan Anderson. Sky Duff on deck. 1 out here, top of the 7th inning. Swings through the fastball there, 2-2. So again, Bonner's done a good job in general. That fastball he's used both sides of the plate. He's used a fastball that's run away on the outside part to right-handed hitters, and then he's also thrown inside very effectively. And when he's been able to land the breaking ball, he's made it tough on these Panthers hitters. And we await a 2-2 pitch from Bonner to Anderson. Swung on and hit towards Stamps. Gloves it on the right-hand side for the 2nd out of the inning. Nice play by Stamps. Had to go a couple steps to his right. And he gloves that liner off the bat of Anderson for the 2nd out of the inning. That's going to bring up Sky Duff, batting with 2 outs and the bases empty. Duff flew out back in the 1st, was called out on strikes in the 3rd, was hit by a pitch and reached on the 5th, and then got picked off. He's batting .261 on the season. Doesn't have a home run, does have 4 RBIs. Tough out at the plate. He is a young man who's played a lot of baseball, knows the strike zone well. He takes that one downstairs, breaking ball for 1 ball and no strikes. Outfield straight away and fairly deep. Shields playing pretty deep in right field, respecting some pop off the bat of Duff. And Duff, one of the few hitters in the Panthers lineup that the infield defense is in a more traditional alignment. That's a fastball in the outside corner. Nice pitch, ball and a strike. One of the things Bonner has done really well is come in and thrown strikes. He's walked a pair, but he's been around the zone pretty consistently today. 49 pitches here, working in his 4th inning. Got to like what you're seeing out of Matthew Bonner out of the bullpen. Here comes the 1-1. Breaking ball. Got the inside corner. Ball and 2 strikes. Nice pitch there. Started it right at his body and brought it over the inside part. I don't think Duff was admirable toward that call, but nonetheless he accepts it, and it's a ball and 2 strikes and 2 are out. Base is empty. And here comes the 1-2. Swung on and hit foul. Fastball on the outside that he spoiled. He stay alive at 1-2. And good crowd on hand here for Sunday afternoon baseball. A lot of Pitt fans in town as well. And it was fleece blanket giveaway. And I see a few of those being utilized, but it's a much warmer and sunnier day than we've seen all weekend. So appreciate the support that the fans have shown Bison baseball this year. They've been through thick and thin and some tough weather days so far, and have a little bit of a nicer day today. Here comes the 1-2. Swings and fouls it back to the screen. Fastball high that he challenged him on, and he just got a piece of it. And he'll stay alive at a ball and 2 strikes. Jeffrey Weller waits on deck if Duff can extend the inning here. Again, the Panthers headed to Fayetteville, North Carolina next weekend. They'll play Army, Ohio State, and Campbell on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in the All-American Classic as they continue their long road trip to start the 2022 campaign. Comes the 1-2 pitch. Got him on the curveball, strike 3. Beauty there. And Matthew Bonner is dealing on the mound currently a 1-2-3 inning. That's the 2nd one in a row that he's put up. And nothing doing for the Panthers in the top half of the 7th. We head to the home half of the 7th. It's 7th inning stretch time, and the Bisons are leading the Panthers. It's Lipscomb 5 and Pittsburgh 4. You're watching Lipscomb Bisons Baseball on YouTube Live. Seventh inning stretch is in the books. We head to the home half of the seventh inning. Lipscomb leading Pittsburgh 5-4. It will be Rudy Maxwell, Chaz Bertolani, and Ethan Stamps due up to face the right-hander Dylan Lester, fifth Pitt pitcher on the day, as he came on in relief in the sixth inning and got Malik Williams to fly out to end the threat there. So he'll start the seventh here as the Bisons cling to a 5-4 lead. So we mentioned Lester, a redshirt senior. We'll tell you about his career here in just a moment. Swung on and hammered towards third. Duff's going to glove it. Take a couple steps and a strong throw to first. He is able to hold the bag and get him there. So Duff, again, has shown that very strong arm from third base, and he retires Maxwell for the first out of the inning. That'll bring up Chaz Bertolani. Bertolani, the hero of the moment, as he had an RBI base hit to bring the Bisons back to a 4-4 tie in the fifth inning. He's also reached on a fielder's choice and flied out to center field. So he's going to stroll down and talk to Coach Forehand for a minute, and I think this may be just trying to slow the inning down, give Bonner a little bit of rest. They don't want to go too quickly in this inning. So we'll tell you a little bit about the career of Dylan Lester. He started at Houston in 2017. He had an injury to his throwing arm and didn't appear in any games. In 2018, he had 6 appearances all out of the bullpen, had just 5 innings at work. 2019, he went to San Jacinto College North, appeared in 19 games out of the bullpen, had 31 2/3 innings with 48 strikeouts and 10 walks. 2020, he came to Pitt, a shortened COVID season, 6 games all out of the bullpen, 9 innings pitched. And in 2021, he had 15 appearances, had 1 start, had a 7.06 ERA, had 27 strikeouts and 21 2/3 innings pitched. So total career at Pitt, he's had 21 appearances with 1 start. He has a record of 0-0, a 6.16 ERA, 35 strikeouts in 30 2/3 inning of work. So experienced right-hander Dylan Lester facing Chaz Bertolani here with 1 out and the base is empty, and he almost hit him with that breaking ball, stayed way inside, ball 1. Long conference between Coach Forehand and Chaz, and again, you'd have to think that they're simply trying to give Bonner a little chance to get some rest and not have too quick of an inning here. He takes for a strike. It'll be a ball and a strike. Ethan Stamps will wait on deck. 5 runs, 7 hits, 1 error for the Bisons. 4 runs, 5 hits, no errors for the Panthers. And the 1-1 to Bertolani is downstairs, 2 balls and 1 strike. Still got some activity in the Bisons bullpen. Again, I believe right-hander Gavin Grubbs is throwing. And activity down in the Pitt bullpen, a couple of arms throwing down there. We can't get numbers from our vantage point, but we'll keep an eye on that as well. Here comes the 2-1 from Lester. Swung on and tapped towards short. Franks is going to glove it. He's taken a couple steps, throws on to first, and they'll retire Bertolani for the second out of the inning. So tip your cap to Lester. He's done a good job since coming in. He's gotten a fly ball out and a couple of ground outs, and Ethan Stamps will bat now. Stamps on the day has drawn a base on balls. He struck out and flied out to center. So 2 outs, nobody aboard, bottom of the 7th. Lipscomb leading 5-4, and Stamps stands in there and looks at a breaking ball in the inside corner for strike 1. So again, give Lester credit. He's come in throwing strikes, pitching to contact here, retiring all 3 of the Bisons that he has faced so far. Stamps is going to step out for a minute, ask for time. I believe it's been granted. Lester working from the stretch even with the bases empty here. That was down in the dirt. That'll be a ball and a strike. Again, no pitch clock with bases empty, and it's not automatic that the batters are awarded time. They have to ask for it and be awarded by the umpire. Here's the 1-1, swung on and fouled off the end of the bat. It was a breaking ball that he was in front of, and it'll be a ball and 2 strikes on Ethan Stamps. And we mentioned we have seen pitch clock warning already come up once today, but that is specific to each pitcher. And Stamps is going to ask for and get a little spray for his barrel because the bat came out of his hands as he spun on that one. So he'll spray that and see if he can grip it and get ready to rip it on a 1-ball, 2-strike count. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs, bases empty. Bottom of the 7th, Lipscomb leading Pittsburgh 5-4. And Dylan Lester will get set to pitch to Ethan Stamps. Swung on and hit back up the middle. That's going to be a base hit. So Stamps indeed was able to hold the bat better there, and he's aboard with a 2-out base hit. That'll be the Bison's 8th hit of the day. They've out hit the Panthers now 8-5, and that'll bring up John Shields. And Shields scored the go-ahead run in the last inning after reaching via a walk. He has also he's grounded out today. He came on in relief of Cam McMillan, so he's had 2 plate appearances so far on the day. Shields batting .300 on the season, 2 RBIs and a home run. That's curveball. It's going to stay outside for ball 1. Caleb Ketchup would be next. Stamps does not have a stolen base on the season, did not steal a base last year. Did steal a base earlier today. I should stand corrected. He does have 1 stolen base. That's ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. So he had none coming in. He does have the 1 steal now. But you'd have to think it'd be unlikely that he's running here in a 1-run ball game in the bottom of the 7th. So 2 balls, no strikes to Shields. Swung on and hit it high in the air. It's behind the infield. Franks is going back, still going back. He's out in shallow left center, and he records it for the 3rd out of the inning. So Shields will pop out and strand a runner there. And nothing doing for the Bisons in the bottom half of the 7th inning. They've stranded 8 on the day, but we head to the 8th inning, and Lipscomb is leading Pittsburgh 5-4. You're watching Lipscomb Bisons Baseball on YouTube Live. We head to the 8th inning. 5 runs, 8 hits, 1 error for Lipscomb. 4 runs, 5 hits, no errors for Pittsburgh. And a pitching change on the mound. The hard-throwing right-hander Trey Nordman is on to make his Lipscomb debut. A 6'5", 220-pound sophomore out of Lansing, Michigan, transfer from Howard College, and so he is seeing his very first action of the season as he tries to hang on to this 1-run lead that the Bisons have here in the 8th inning. So terrific relief pitching from Matthew Bonnert. Bonnert ends up going 3 1/3 innings, doesn't surrender a hit, gives up 2 walks and 3 strikeouts, and threw a total of 55 pitches. So tip your cap to Bonnert. Terrific outing for Bonnert. In relief of starter Ike Buxton, and he'll hand the ball down to Trey Nordman. And Nordman will be facing the heart of the order, 3, 4, 5, with Weller, Hess, and Levens for the Panthers. Weller's grounded out, hit by a pitch, and struck out on the day, batting .300 on the season. And he's going to miss high for ball 1. So Nordman, a hard-throwing right-hander. He'll run it up there at the 97, 98 miles an hour. Also has a hard slider, and so Kind of a max effort throw. And he gets his first action of the season and first action in a Bison's uniform. 1 ball, no strikes to Weller. And breaking ball in there for a strike. Nice pitch, ball and a strike. Kyle Hess is on deck, followed by Tatum Levens. Bisons have out-hit the Panthers 8-5 today, and a nice bounce back from yesterday's shellacking that the Panthers put on the Bisons. 16-0 win for the Panthers in that one. The Bisons had only 3 hits all day yesterday. Shows bunt, takes off the plate. I guess they'll rule that a ball, 2 balls and a strike, and say he did not offer at it. That was another breaking ball. And so Weller is ahead of the count, 2 balls and 1 strike. Normal depth and normal position for the Bisons again. They shifted on a lot of these hitters today, but not on Weller. Comes the 2-1 from Nordman, and that's going to miss high, 3-1. Still some activity down in the Bisons bullpen. I see number 14, Jared Schimper, throwing. Lefty, and there's also a righty throwing. We can't get a number on, but we'll keep an eye on that for you. And he catches the corner, gets the call there, 3-2. So breaking ball for a strike, and Weller was not fond of that call, but it'll stand at 3-2. So pattern thus far has been that Norman's been able to land the breaking ball. He's had trouble throwing the fastball for a strike, but it's a payoff pitch due here to the leadoff here in the top of the 8th in a 5-4 game. Lipscomb leading Pittsburgh. And he misses inside with that breaking ball. It'll be a walk. So leadoff man's aboard. And again, that's happened in every inning except the 6th and the 7th when Matthew Bonnert was able to retire the Panthers in order, 1, 2, 3 in both of those frames. They'll bring up Kyle Hess. Hess is single, struck out, and walked on the day. Now batting .393 on the season, 3 homers and 9 RBIs. So a tough out at the plate here. And he'll bat with nobody out and a runner on first. And be very surprised to see him play small ball here, and he's not, and that ball almost gets to the backstop. It's a fastball inside, 1 ball, no strikes. So Nordman struggling a bit on control on the fastball, as I said, somewhat of a max effort delivery. Not much of a lead at first for Weller. 1-0 is a breaking ball in there for a strike. So he kind of continues that pattern. Fastball's been a little bit all over the map, but the breaking ball has been able to throw for a strike. So it's a ball and a strike, and you'd have to wonder if Hess might sit breaking ball here, knowing that pattern. Again, Nordman with excellent velocity, but got to be able to locate that for a strike to be effective. Here comes the 1-1. It is a breaking ball, and he hits that a mile in the air towards the right side, but it's going to go foul. And indeed, he was sitting breaking ball, and he did not miss it. That one lands somewhere among the ducks in the pond, well beyond the right field fence. There really is a pond there, and it really does have ducks on it. But I believe Hess was thinking just what we were, and then he got that breaking ball and did not miss it, and he hit that one about 380 feet. But it's allowed strike 2, so 1 ball and 2 strikes. Again, Weller aboard, has 1 stolen base on the season and 1 attempt. He's not running, and he throws a breaking ball. Strike 3, got him. Nice pitch there, and Nordman is able to get his first strikeout, so he's got a walk and a strikeout in 2 batters' face, and that'll bring up Tatum Levens, the catcher. Levens homered back in the 2nd. He singled and scored a run in the 4th and grounded out in the 5th, so he had a nice day today, up to 269 on the season. Does have 2 homers and 7 RBIs. Another one of those left-handed bats in the lineup. We mentioned 5 left-handed hitters in the lineup for Coach Mike Bell today. Runner at first is Weller. He got there courtesy of the leadoff walk. Breaking ball downstairs. Bertolani blocks it up, and Weller played it conservatively and stayed at first base. So 1 ball, no strikes to Tatum Levens. Jack Anderson waits on deck. Defensively again for the Bisons. Will Hoyt's at 3rd, Ketchup's at short, Stamps at 2nd, Williams at 1st, Maxwell's in left, Houghton at center, John Shields in right, Chaz Bertolani behind the plate, and Trey Nordman is on the 3rd Bisons pitcher of the day. And he throws a fastball through there for a strike. So first fastball that we've seen him throw in there. It's a ball and a strike to Tatum Levens, the junior catcher. ball, one strike, one out, runner at first. And looks like that Weller might have stretched that lead just a little bit now. He's not running, and swung on and hit foul and out of play off to the left side. That was another breaking ball. So far we've pretty much seen fastball slider from Nordman, and he's ahead now of Levens, 1 ball and 2 strikes. We'll see how Coach Myers elects to play it here against Tatum Levens. As we mentioned, still got some activity down in the Bison's bullpen. A couple of guys throwing down there. It's like the lefty Jared Schimper is still throwing. 1 ball, 2 strikes due to Tatum Levens. Runner's going. Fastball swings through it. Strike 3. Throw to second. Will not be in time. But Levens swings through a fastball for the second out of the inning. So second strikeout, back-to-back strikeouts now for Nordman, and that'll bring up Jack Anderson, the designated hitter. Weller had a good jump. Bertolani with a quick throw, but the catcher cut it off, tried to get the tag down behind him, and was unable to do so. So tying run is out at second base. 2 outs for Jack Anderson. Anderson's grounded out twice and walked on the day. Batting .333 on the season, 4 hits in 12 trips to the plate. Right-handed swinger. Junior. And he gets ready from the offering from Nordman. Breaking ball outside corner, strike 1. So again, he's thrown that slider pretty effectively here in his inning of work as Trey Nordman. Like Buxton started, Matthew Bonnert relieved in the 4th, and Nordman on here in the 8th as Lipscomb is leading Pittsburgh 5-4 with 2 outs and a runner on at second. Swings through that, gets away from Bertolani, advancing to third, and no throw is Weller. But he's got 2 strikes now on Anderson, and so Bertolani blocked that one up, but it kicked away from him just far enough to allow Weller to advance. And again, Weller, a good base runner. Saw that one kick off. And Coach Bell is going to call over his hitter, Anderson, to have a discussion with him. We saw the Bisons do this in their turn at the bat, so maybe a little bit of rhythm disruption. Certainly coaches and hitters don't like to see these pitchers get in a rhythm, particularly a hard thrower like Nordman. You want to try to disrupt some of that rhythm and not allow him to get to feel comfortable out there. Some of that cat and mouse game that makes baseball a great game to watch. But the count is no balls and 2 strikes on Jack Anderson. The tying run is at third base. That's Jeffrey Weller, and so a lot of pressure here on Bertolani. If Nordman will try to bury that breaking ball, he's got to keep it in front of him and keep it in play. And here comes the 0-2 pitch from Nordman. Fastball, and it did almost get away, and Bertolani is indeed able to glove it. Big secondary lead for Weller, but he went scurrying back as Bertolani gloved that one. Again, outfield normal depth, infield in pretty standard position here. No shift on whatsoever for Anderson. It's a 1 ball, 2 strike count. And Nordman with a big moment in the game, tying run 90 feet away. 2 outs, top of the 8th inning. Swung on and tapped foul. That was the breaking ball, and he did a good job to spoil that one and hang in there. That one hung up a little bit. And Anderson just fouled it off to stay alive. And we'll do it again in a ball and 2 strikes. We'll catch up in the bottom of the inning on a scoreboard update, again from area teams and ASUN teams. But first we await the 1-2 pitch from Trey Nordman to Jack Anderson. That's all the way to the screen. Bertolani's going to get it and not be able to glove it in time, and the tying run's going to come across on the wild pitch. Bertolani did what he could. He retreated back to the screen. It bounced off. Nordman was charging hard, but he simply couldn't come up with it in time. And again, Weller, good base runner, good secondary lead. And the Panthers have tied the game 5-5, and they don't have a base hit in this inning. In fact, they had a walk, a stolen base, and 2 wild pitches that have advanced and allowed the tying run to score. So 2 balls, 2 strikes now, 2 outs. Anderson, your batter. And he got him strike 3. So Bonnert strikes out the side, but the Panthers are able to push across the tying run, even though they don't get a base hit. There's 1 run on no hits, no errors, and nobody left. And we head to the bottom half of the 8th inning, and we've got a new score. Your score, Lipscomb 5 and Pittsburgh 5. You're watching Lipscomb Bisons Baseball on YouTube Live. We head to the home half of the 8th inning. 5 runs, 8 hits, 1 error for the Lipscomb Bisons. 5 runs, 5 hits, no errors for the Pittsburgh Panthers. And the Panthers have a new hurler on the mound. He is the senior right-hander Barron Stewart, 6'2", 209-pounder out of Okeechobee, Florida. He's a transfer from the University of South Florida, where he's played the past 4 seasons. And he'll be out there making his 3rd appearance for the Panthers. He's worked 3 1/3 innings, given up 7 hits, 6 runs, but only 1 earned run. He's walked 2 and struck out 5. Opposing hitters have hit .389 against him, so 0-0 on a 2.70 ERA on the season. And he will be the 6th pitcher used on the day for Coach Mike Bell and the Panthers. He'll face 9, 1, and 2, Ketchup, Houghton, and Lundgren, as we're tied up 5-5, bottom half of the 8th inning. Good ball game today between these two teams. And Ketchup swings and hits the first pitch foul, and it's going to go out of play. Levins will give it a look, but it's going to be strike 1. So again, we mentioned Stewart played at South Florida in 2018. He had 12 appearances, 10 starts, 2-2 with a 4.93 ERA and 27 strikeouts. 2019, he had 10 starts as the Friday night starter for USF. In 2020, he had 3 starts in a midweek role. That's a slider outside for ball 1. And then in 2021, he had 17 appearances, 3 starts. He went 3-2 with a 6.62 ERA, had 1 save, had 34 strikeouts in 35 1/3 innings pitched. So he's a young man who's pitched a lot in college, but first season with the Panthers. And it looks like he's probably in the closer's role for them. And he throws a fastball in the outside corner, and he's got Ketchup down in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Again, Bison's had taken a 5-4 lead back in the 6th. Neither team scored in the 7th, and the Panthers able to push across 1 in the 8th, even though they didn't have a base hit. Slider, strike 3. Nice pitch there, as Ketchup will go down on strikes for the first out of the inning. And that'll bring up top of the order in Maddox Houghton. Maddox has been hit by the pitch, reached on a walk, singled, so 2 for 2, and been on base all 4 times today. Average up to 368 on the season. Got 1 home run and 5 RBIs, and he bats now in 1 out and the base is empty in the bottom of the 8th inning with a 5-5 game between Pittsburgh and Lipscomb. And checks his swing and takes a strike. Looked like a slider there. No balls and 1 strike. So again for Pitt, Dragani started, went 2 innings, 3 innings from Devereaux, Batista 1/3 of an inning, Konashevsky 1/3 of an inning, Lester 1 1/3, and now Stewart out there, and that's strike 2. And Stewart's doing a good job coming in and just filling it up and throwing strikes. Again, Coach Bell using a mixture of a couple of freshmen out there today and then some of these veteran seniors. We mentioned that yesterday's broadcast, he's just about completely overhauled his bullpen as they lost, I believe, their top 3 arms from the bullpen last year, and that was going to be way outside and miss. 4-1, 1 ball and 2 strikes. So rebuilt back into the bullpen this year for Coach Bell, and early in the season still sorting out some roles, I'm sure, and giving guys an opportunity to show themselves in different spots in the ball game. But Stewart is out there now pitching to the Bison's leadoff hitter Maddox Houghton, and the count's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Ball's going to miss high, and it'll be 2-2. Looks like fastball slider so far from Barron Stewart. Mason Lundgren waits on deck for the Bisons. And he swings through that for strike 3. So back-to-back strikeouts here for Stewart, and that'll bring up Mason Lundgren. Lundgren had a sacrifice bunt back in the 1st, struck out in the 2nd, singled in the 4th, and struck out in the 6th. Batting .316 on the season. No homers and 5 RBIs. And so Lundgren, 2 outs and the base is empty, and see if the Bisons can put a little pressure on Stewart. So far he's looked good coming in, getting back-to-back strikeouts. That's going to be in there for strike 1. So Stewart doing a good job again, coming right at these Bisons hitters. Showing good stuff with the fastball and the slider, and he's got Lundgren down 0-1. John Cheatwood throwing in the Lipscomb bullpen. He swings through that and fouls it off the end of the bat. Quickly, it's 0-2. Nordman pitched the top of the 8th, and we'll see if he goes back out or if Cheatwood will come on for the Bisons. He appears to be the only one throwing in the bullpen right now. And we mentioned getting a scoreboard check in here. We'll tell you about area teams and ASUN teams. Tennessee continues to lead Iona 12-2. Jacksonville, that's gone final now. 12-2 Tennessee sweeps Iona. Jacksonville leads Troy 5-3 in the 9th. Southern Miss leads Jacksonville State 3-1 the bottom of the 6th. Liberty is leading Winthrop 13-2 in the bottom of the 8th. And Connecticut is leading North Florida 5-3. That's in the top of the 10th. Here's the 0-2. Stays high and inside. And it'll be a ball and 2 strikes on Lundgren. Will Hoyt would be on deck. We mentioned earlier Cincinnati, North Alabama were canceled. Florida Gulf Coast has beaten Bethune-Cookman 8-2. Ohio has beaten Eastern Kentucky 4-0. And Stetson leads Columbia 6-1 in the top of the 9th inning. Southeast Missouri State leading Bellarmine 10-2 in the bottom of the 8th. Here comes the 1-2 pitch to Lundgren. Checks his swing. Did he go? Third base umpire Jeff Bottom says he did, and so that will be 3 strikeouts in 3 batters for Baron Stewart. So nothing doing for the Bisons in the bottom of the 8th. We head to the 9th inning. We're all tied up. Lipscomb 5 and Pittsburgh 5. You're watching Lipscomb Bisons Baseball on YouTube Live. We're headed to the top of the 9th inning. We are all tied up. Lipscomb 5 runs, 8 hits, 1 error. Pittsburgh 5 runs, 5 hits, no errors. And new pitcher on the mound for the Bisons is graduate transfer John Cheatwood. 6'4", 222-pounder out of Chino, California. Transfer from Marshall University. And he'll be out there making his second appearance for the Bisons. He pitched last weekend, pitched very effectively, 1 2/3 innings, gave up 4 hits but didn't allow any runs, gave up 1 walk and 3 strikeouts. So 0-0 on the season with a 0 ERA. And he will be facing 7, 8, 9. Hewlett, Funk, and Franks are scheduled here for the Panthers. As Cheatwood, the 4th Bison's pitcher of the day. Ike Buxton started, relieved by Matthew Bonnard, who was terrific in relief. Trey Norman pitched the top of the 8th, and now Cheatwood will come out in the 9th to try to keep this one where it is and give the Bisons a chance in the bottom of the 9th. Again, these two teams have battled back and forth all day. And Cheatwood will face the left-handed hitting Hewlett to get things started in the 9th. Hewlett's grounded out twice and put down a sacrifice bunt, so 0 for 2 on the day. He swings and hits the first pitch towards right center field. Going back, Shields, still going back, still going back. Looks up at the wall. Gone. Home run. Bryce Hewlett hit that one out. First pitch he saw from John Cheatwood, right center field. He got the fastball and did not miss it. And in this back and forth affair, the Panthers have now gone back out on top 6-5. So first pitch swinging. We mentioned these Panthers are aggressive with fastballs in the zone. He saw one that he liked that was up, and he hit it out. And that'll bring up C.J. Funk. Funk has grounded out twice and struck out on the day. He's 0 for 3. Tell you that he starts him with a ball downstairs, ball 1. Cheatwood, again, mentioned out of California, had previously played at high school in Indiana. He went to junior college at Lincoln Trail College, where he had 67 strikeouts in 59 and a third innings and was an academic All-American. That one's going to miss downstairs, 2 balls and no strikes. In 2020, he made 4 appearances with Marshall, including 1 start. And was on the academic honor roll there. Did not pitch in 2021. That one misses downstairs, and it's 3-0. So first season with the Bisons for John Cheatwood. The Panthers have given him a rude greeting here in the top of the 9th as they take a 6-5 lead, hitting the first pitch out, and now he's behind 3-0 on C.J. Funk with Brock Franks waiting on deck. And that one's going to miss inside as well, ball 4. Still some activity down in the Bison's bullpen. See the left-hander Jared Schimper throwing. I saw Matthew Maldonado stirring around a little bit earlier as well. So see how the Bisons elect to play it here. We're going to have a pinch runner down at first base. And that is Dom Popa pinch running at first base now for C.J. Funk. Popa on to run at first base. Franks, the shortstop, will bat now. Franks has a home run earlier in the game. He's also walked and grounded out. Nobody out, runner at first. 1 run already home here in the 9th. And he is already showing bunt. Instead, they'll throw to first. And sliding back in easily is Popa. Popa does not have a stolen base on the season. Third baseman Will Hoyt creeping in, showing bunt already again is Franks. He offers at it and fouls it at the plate. It'll be 0-1. So again, it's been a back and forth affair all day long here. The Bisons jumped out to a 2-0 lead. Pitt tied it in the 2nd. Pitt added in the 3rd, and then in the 4th added 2 more. But the Bisons single runs in the 4th, 5th, and 6th. Single run for the Panthers in the 8th, and now a single run in the 9th, and they lead 6-5. Bisons have out hit them 8-6, but on the scoreboard is where it counts, and Pitt's ahead 1, and that one's put nicely on the ground to the right side. Cheatwood's going to field it and flip to first, and Franks is going to execute a successful sacrifice bunt, first out of the inning, and that'll advance pinch runner Popa down to second base. Get us back to the top of the order, and Jordan Anderson. Again, Anderson's had a tough weekend at the plate. He did single to lead off the game, then he was cut down stealing. He's grounded out twice and lined out, batting just 125 on the season. He's got 3 hits and 24 at-bats. And he'll bat now with 1 out and a runner in scoring position at second base, and 1 run already home, courtesy of the solo home run off the bat of Hewlett. Slider on the outside corner for strike 1. Sky Duff, the third baseman, would be next. Second baseman Stamps is shifted over towards the bag. No, I think not just to hold the runner, but also because they have really played Anderson to the pull side all day long. Apparently the scouting report on him is a strong pull hitter, and so infield has shifted that direction, though the outfield is pretty much straight away. Here comes the 0-1. Hits that one in the air towards left field. Maxwell's drifting back, still going back, still going back. It's near the warning track, tracks it down and gloves it. And it'll be the second out of the inning as Popa will retreat to second base. So Anderson hit that one well, but Maxwell gloved it in the left center field wall area. So with 2 outs now, Sky Duff will come up. Duff's also had a tough day at the plate. He's flied out, struck out twice, and been hit by a pitch, and he was picked off of the base the only time that he did reach base. And looks like we're going to have a pitching change here as Coach Jeff Forehand is heading out to the mound. So we'll step aside. Again, our situation, top of the 9th inning, 2 outs, 1 run home in this inning. Pitt has reclaimed a 6-5 lead over Lipscomb. And we'll tell you all about the new pitcher when we come back. You're watching Lipscomb Bison's Baseball on YouTube Live. New Bison's pitcher is number 14, graduate transfer left-hander Jared Schimper, 6'1", 195-pounder out of Germantown, Tennessee. He is a transfer from Mississippi State. And he's out for his 2nd appearance of the season. He's worked just 1 inning, hasn't allowed a hit, hasn't allowed a run, no walks and 1 strikeout for Jared Schimper. And he comes on here with 2 outs and a runner at second base. Just to recap the inning, Hewlett homered to start off the inning. Funk walked and was replaced by the pinch runner Popa. There was a sacrifice bunt from Franks, and then Jordan Anderson just flew out to deep left field. So with the left-handed swinging Duff in there, Coach Forehand elects to go to the left-handed arm Schimper. 2 outs and a runner at second. Again, Duff has 0 for 3 on the day with a hit by pitch, and so he bats here with 2 outs and a runner in second. At second base, 1 run already home this inning. Duff's now batting .250 on the season, and Schimper throws him a curveball through there for a strike. 0-1. Again, Duff with no home runs and 4 RBIs on the season. And Schimper will get set to bring the 0-1. It's another breaking ball, and he hits it in the air towards left field. Maxwell going back, still going back, and he's going to glove it for the 3rd out of the inning. So Schimper comes in and retires Sky Duff. But the Bisons have work to do as they've fallen behind here as we head to the bottom of the 9th inning. Last chance as Pittsburgh leads Lipscomb 6-5. You're watching Lipscomb Bison's Baseball on YouTube Live. Bottom of the ninth inning. Pittsburgh Panthers leading the Lipscomb Bison 6-5, and Barron Stewart back out on the mound for the Panthers. He came in and pitched very effectively in the 8th inning, striking out the side, and he'll face the heart of the Bison's order here with Wilhoit, Williams, and Maxwell. Last chance for the Bisons as they want to extend this one. It's been a back and forth affair. Both teams playing well. 14 hits between the teams, only 1 error committed. And last chance for the Bison. So Trace Wilhoit will start things off. He's doubled, single, grounded out, and walked on the day. Right-handed on right-handed matchup here for the Bisons. A couple other area scores to tell you about. Austin P is leading Bowling Green 6-3, bottom of the 6th. Belmont leading Youngstown State 2-0 in the top of the 9th. And that should be our scoreboard. And that's a slider that's out there for strike 1. Again, Stewart really pounding the zone since he's come in. He's used that slider effectively on the outside. He's thrown the fastball, particularly inside to these right-handed hitters, and he's ahead 0-1, and that's hit off the fist towards short. The shortstop, Franks, is going to come up with it. Long throw, stretching on the bag. Did he stay on? And he did. Hewlett with a good stretch there. And so Wilhoit will ground out to start the 9th inning. First out of the inning. Nice stretch there by Hewlett at first base. So that'll bring up Malik Williams. Malik has walked twice, has singled and flied out to center field. He has scored a run. Batting .318 on the season. Does have 3 home runs and 11 RBIs. He's one of those guys that can change the course of the game with one swing of the bat. And they start him off with a fastball inside, push him off the plate. It's a ball and no strikes. Malik has seen a lot of breaking pitches from this Pitt pitching staff, and when they have thrown him the fastball, they've tried to throw it inside. They know he's a good hitter for those fastballs that are away from him, and that's a slider that's going to catch the outside corner. Good spot there, and it's a ball and a strike. Rudy Maxwell on deck. Here comes the 1-1. Swung on and hits the slider foul and out of play. That was slicing away from him, and he's got Malik down in a hole, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Again, Dragani started, went 2 innings. Devereaux 3 innings in relief. Bautista a third of an inning. Konashevsky a third of an inning. Lester 1 1/3. And now Stewart 1 1/3 for the Panthers. And he swings through a fastball, strike 3. The Bisons are down to their final out, and that's in the person of Rudy Maxwell. Rudy's grounded out 3 times and struck out swinging. He did have an RBI on one of those ground outs back in the first inning. And he is the last hope for the Bisons as he bats with 2 outs and the bases empty. Rudy batting .261 on the season, 1 home run and 3 RBIs. And the Panthers are 1 out away from sweeping this 2-game series over Lipscomb and going home with a 3-1 overall record as he swings through a slider there, 0-1. Again, the Panthers split with Bradley, beating the Braves on Friday, losing on Saturday in a pair of 1-run games. Defeated Lipscomb big yesterday, and they have a 1-run lead here. So they've played a lot of tight ball games here this weekend, which is a good thing early in the season. Slider tap towards short. That's about going to do it. Franks is going to glove it and throw on to first. And the Pitt Panthers are going to come out of here with a comeback victory, as the Bisons cannot score here in the bottom half of the 9th inning. So the final line score for today's game for the visiting Panthers, they had 6 runs on 6 hits. There were no errors. For the homestanding Lipscomb Bison, 5 runs on 8 hits. They did commit 1 error. Our time of the game will be 3 hours and 14 minutes. And we'll give you a brief recap on the game. Again, the Bisons jumped out ahead in the bottom of the first inning. Maddox Houghton was hit by a pitch, was sacrificed by Mason Lundgren. Trace Wilhoit doubled to drive in a run. And then Rudy Maxwell had an RBI ground out, and the Bisons had gone ahead 2-0. However, the Panthers stormed right back in the second inning. A single from Kyle Hess, a home run off the bat of Tatum Levens, and they tied it 2-2. Pitt took a lead in the third inning. They pushed across a single run on the solo home run from Brock Franks. But the Bisons then woke up and rallied themselves, pushing across a single run in the fourth. It was a single from Maddox Houghton advancing on a wild pitch and scoring on a base hit off the bat of Mason Lundgren. Bisons again added a run in the fifth. Single from Malik Williams advancing around on a wild pitch. He scored on a Chaz Bertolani RBI single. And the Bisons back to work in the 6th inning. They added another run. John Shields started off with a base on balls. He was sacrificed around by Caleb Ketchup, and then an RBI single off the bat of Maddox Houghton. But the Panthers would not go quietly. They added a run in the 8th inning, even though they didn't have a base hit. Leadoff walk, a stolen base for Jeffrey Weller. A couple of wild pitches allowed him to score what at that time was the tying run. And we moved on into the 9th inning, and in the 9th inning, solo leadoff home run off the bat of Bryce Hewlett turned out to be the game winner. He hit that one as the first pitch he saw in the top of the 9th. And the Bisons were unable to answer in the bottom of the 9th inning, despite sending up the heart of the lineup to 3, 4, and 5 with Trace Wilhoit, Malik Williams, and Rudy Maxwell. So I believe the win will go to Baron Stewart. He's the last pitcher of record for the Panthers. The loss will go to John Cheatwood. And again, time of the game, 3 hours and 14 minutes. So once again, fans, we'll remind you that the next action for Lipscomb baseball will be on Tuesday when the Bisons travel over to Murfreesboro and play a game at Middle Tennessee State University. The first pitch will be at 4 p.m. Central Time. Our next telecast here for Lipscomb baseball will be the following day, Wednesday, when the Bisons will host Belmont. First installment of the Battle of the Boulevard for this season. And first pitch for that game will be at 3 p.m. You can see that game here on YouTube Live. Our special thanks to Lipscomb Athletic Director Philip Hutchison, to Associate Athletic Director for External Relations Brent McMillan, Assistant Athletic Director for Communications Kirk Downs, and Assistant Director for Athletic Communications Hannah Jo Riley. Also want to thank Erica Plunkett for producing our game today. So in behalf of our entire crew, this is Doc Allen saying thanks for your time this time, and until next time, so long. You've been watching Lipscomb